I'm Lily Butler, joined alongside Joe Pratt and Tyler Danberg just before Game 32 for the season. The number one in the league, Cotuit Kettleers, against the Chatham. Good evening and welcome back to the Kettleers Starting Nine. I'm Lily Butler, joined alongside Joe Pratt and Tyler Danberg just before Game 32 for the season. The number one in the league, Cotuit Kettleers, against the Chatham Anglers. And coming off of a day of rest yesterday, but the Kets last time here at Lowell Park suffering a 14-3 loss. And Coach Roberts told me after that game that could be due to some transition happening in the roster. But Tyler, just what did you notice about that loss?
Well, I noticed the one thing that stuck out really in this Kettleers loss, their inability to throw strikes. They just had struggles locating the strike zone for back-to-back games during this two-game losing streak. They threw 8 walks, and that was pretty much how Bourne was able to get a lot of their base runners aboard and then drive runners in by way of the hit. So a lot of situational hitting done well for Bourne, created off of drawing walks, and that's going to be something that Cotuit will look to try and reduce in this game against Chatham.
And then speaking of pitching and throwing strikes, tonight starting on the mound for the Kettleers is going to be the Cape Cod League's All-Star Game starter, Cameron Hill from the Cotuit Kettleers. Joe, just what have you seen from him, and could you talk more about the pitching matchup tonight?
Well, he'll be doing or looking to do more of what he's done so well of so far this year, which is establish the zone early with the fastball and oftentimes with his off speed as well. He's got a great slider and changeup to go along with that mid-90s fastball, and so I think we can just see more of that. Hopefully Hill will do a better job as Cotuit pitching has struggled, as Tyler was saying, in the past couple days in throwing strikes. That really hasn't been an issue for Hill so far this year. He's had some walks on the year, but he's been mostly able to keep the ball in the strike zone, so he'll be looking to do more of that today, and he'll be facing Trey Gibson on the side of Chatham, and he's made quite a few starts and a couple appearances for them so far this year, and he's just looking to be more consistent on the mound. He's been kind of inconsistent across these first 6 appearances for him. He's out of Liberty, didn't have too much time there this year, so he'll be looking to kind of further improve on his another Cape League start for Gibson.
And tonight, the Kets definitely looking to take home the win. Tyler, what do you think is going to be a main contributing factor in that win?
I think it's going to be throw strikes, as we said before. That's going to be something that they're going to really look to hone in on. And Cameron Hill, he's been a guy that has thrown a lot of strikes this year. He's retired 80% of the batters he has faced. So if that can set the tone for the rest of the game and have the bullpen reduce those balls and cut down the walks, I think that could be a good night for the Kettleers in first place.
And then, Joe, what are you looking at tonight?
Strong start for the offense. I mean, they were really slow in that start against Bourne the other night. They got off to a hot start in Orleans, but they weren't able to continue that for the full 9 innings, and that's why they lost that one at the end. Against Bourne, though, Bourne got ahead early. Cotuit had that 1-0 lead, but they responded with 11 runs after the 3rd inning, and then they were pretty much just out of the game after that. So they're going to need to stay in it, get the offense hot early, and get on the board first, and I think that should help them into getting back in the win column.
And Joe, I'm going to build on top of that and just say offense in general being really aggressive and making lots of contact. I think the Kets against this Chatham pitching staff, if they maintain contact and aggressiveness, will be able to put enough runs on the board to secure the win tonight. But we will have all that and more for first pitch at 5 p.m. on the Kettleers Digital Network from Lowell Park. I'm Lily Butler. This is Tyler Danberg and Joe Pratt.
We welcome you in from Lowell Park for Game 32 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season, featuring the top team in the Western Division in the Cotuit Kettleers taking on the bottom team in the East Division in the Chatham Anglers. Welcome back into the Kettleers Digital Network, everyone. I'm Joe Pratt, joined alongside Tyler Danberg, Liam Barrett, Abigail Lott, and Lily Butler, and we are here back at Lowell Park for the second time this week. Of course, Cotuit coming off of 2 losses, but then an off day yesterday. Tyler, kind of a chance to recuperate after dropping those 2 in Orleans and then back here at Lowell Park against Bourne.
Well, Mike Roberts even said it on the post-game show with Lily Butler. He was saying that if there was any week to adjust and make some adjustments because of all the roster turnover, bringing in new pitchers, even new position players, this is the week to do it. Getting an off day to rest some of those arms that got expended in that 14-3 loss to Bourne, recuperate and get ready for this home stretch of the regular season.
We'll send it to the national anthem right now. Welcome you back in from Lowell Park ahead of Game 32 of this season. First pitch just a few moments away, and let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup between the Kettleers and the Anglers. On the mound for Cotuit, it's going to be Cameron Hill. He started the year as a reliever for the Kettleers, did great there, and then was just transitioned perfectly into this starting spot, Tyler, on to make another start today.
And one of his last starts, one of his last appearances as a reliever against Chatham on June 18th. The last time these 2 teams met, that was back at Veterans Field, and he mowed down the Anglers' order, struck out a season-high 6, which would go unmatched until he struck out 6 in his last start against Wareham in that 18-0 win. So Cameron Hill, what else is there to say about him that really hasn't been said? He has been nothing but dominant. He is the only pitcher in the league that has a qualified earned run average of under 1. 0.37 is his ERA, meaning he allows basically 0.3 runs for every 9 innings he pitches in.
That's exactly right. He, as you said, just been mowing down batters. He hasn't allowed a single run in the last 9 innings pitched for Hill, and that was across 2 starts, one where he picked up the win and one where he didn't get a decision, but Cotuit went on to win that one 18-0. So pretty good start that he got the Kettleers off to on that day. He'll be looking to do more of that tonight, taking to the mound for the 5th time this year as a starter, 9th time in total so far for the Kettleers. And how will he fare against the Anglers tonight?
Well, he will face a Chatham offense that is 10th in the league at a .231 average, but at the top, recently activated Bryce Martin Grzylonek, son of Mark Grzylonek, 15-year MLB veteran. He bats first, plays second. Zach McDonald out of Miami, Ohio, bats second, plays in center. Caden Kent, Texas A&M Aggie, bats third as the designated hitter. He has a team-leading .306 average. Tyler Wolford out of Oklahoma State bats cleanup, plays in right. Aiden Miola, his Oklahoma State Cowboys teammate, go Pokes, bats 5th, plays 3rd. Trace Wilhoit out of Lipscomb bats 6th, plays 1st. Kyson Donahue out of Hawaii is the 7-hitter in left field. Jaden Melendez batting 8th out of Pittsburgh. He does the catching. And Derek Fabian, Florida, now going to Auburn. He'll transfer there next year. Rounds out the lineup in the 9 spot and plays short.
He'll be going against a Kettleers team looking to get back in the win column. They haven't won since Saturday. That was a win here at Lowell Park. And let's take a look at how the Kettleers line up in the field. They are 3rd in the league in defense with 31 errors and a .972 fielding percentage. Cole Mathis hails over at first base out of the College of Charleston. Trotter Harlan plays second base back there today, joining Grant Norris as the other middle infielder. He's out of Penn State playing shortstop. Danny Corona Jr. gets his first start at third. He's out of Wake Forest, transferring to University of Missouri this fall. So nice to see Danny Corona getting a start here at the hot corner for the Kettleers today. The outfield from left to right, Trey Younger in left, Carter Matheson in straightaway center, and James McCoy out of Kentucky in right. They'll be facing Bryce Martin Grudzelanek as the first batter here for the Anglers. And this is an Anglers team, as we were saying before, Tyler. They have played 4 games in these last 3 days, but they have really picked up after having a tough start, and they've been through quite a bit of turmoil, as you might say, plenty of turnover from top to bottom, as I was saying earlier. Right here at the top of the lineup is Bryce Martin Grudzelanek. The first pitch he sees, up and away from Cam Hill, ball 1. 93 on the gun there that time from Hill. With that fastball, he'll showcase a slider and change as well. And he's throwing to Dylan Johnson for the first time this year. And that fastball located well in there for strike 1.
Well, you look at Chatham's last 5 games as an offense, they're starting to get going a little bit. They're 40 for 163. They've driven in 26 runs. They're hitting a little bit better, and they've won 2 of their last 2. 2 of their last 4, I should say.
Yeah, splitting that doubleheader yesterday. Not often that you see something like that, but this is a Chatham team that really needed to get games in. Here's the 2-1 from Hill. Slider comes back in the back door, 2-2.
You can see a lot of tenacity that Hill's pitching with right now. Our crowd mics can pick up that grunt that Hill is letting out. I mean, he is really into this opening at bat.
Tries to go back with the fastball there. Nice job by Martin Grudzelanek to tap that one foul. Currently 6 for 18 on the year. Driven in 5 runs in 6 games. At the top of the lineup today, here's the 2-2, tap foul again. Nice job here by Martin Grudzelanek, doing a good job of working up this count here early against Cameron Hill. Something that they'll definitely look to be doing today after Cotuit pitching has struggled in putting guys on in these last couple losses. Big reason as to why teams have been able to put up numbers against them, and Hill picks up his first strikeout of the day. Goes down and in with the breaking ball. He just gets Martin Grudzelanek to swing right over it, and there's 1 gone in the top of the first.
And just hammers that slider past Martin Grudzelanek. 35th K for Cameron Hill, and he's tied with another Cam. That's Cotuit's Cam Schulke.
Those 2 on the top of the Cape Cod Baseball League in strikeouts. As that one's bounced in there to Zach McDonald out of Miami.
And in such different areas, too. Because Schulke has kind of been that fireman where they put out the fires, also meaning he pitches less innings than Hill does as a starter.
1-0 finds the zone on the slider. Yeah, Hill up to 25 innings now with that strikeout on the year. Schulke with 22. He's got 35 Ks. They're now knotted up at 35. That one bounced in there. Nice block by Dylan Johnson. That's ball 2. Zach McDonald digs in. Two 2-1 to him, laced back into the fencing. as the home plate umpire, Chris Engstrom, asks for a couple new baseballs. He's behind the plate, joined by Joe Labella over at third, and John DeGirolamo at first. That's a fastball outside from Hill. Count moved full. 96 there from Hill.
Really pumping it in there. He's got that mid to high 90s fastball, but usually 96, 97 is what he maxes out at.
The 3-2 home. 79 there on the slider. As you see Trotter Harlan, he's in shallow right field, playing really deep here for Zach McDonald. His feet completely in the shallow right field grass. The 3-2 from Hill again, outside, ball 4. Good pitch there from Hill, a little bit away. It's his 10th walk of the year.
How about that at bat, though, by Zach McDonald? I mean, really working that count. Hill's throwing backdoor stuff on the outer part of the plate, and McDonald just makes it look easy fighting off those pitches. I mean, those are really tough ones to get a piece of. As you saw, Bryce Martin Gerzelanic struck out on that slider on the outer part of the plate. So a good AB there for McDonald.
Caden Kent looks at a strike. Well, there's been a lot of noise from the Cotuit dugout early on here, really trying to cheer their guy on. A lot of noise after every single pitch, it seems. That's being picked up on our crowd mic. Hill from the stretch now, dealing with the runner on first. Fastball low and in, 1-1 the count now. 92 on the gun, the fastball. So he's been really mixing up the velocity, it seems, with the fastball. Been up to 96, now down to 92 there. As it's Caden Kent. We'll check on the runner on first. A Cape League All-Star this year for the Anglers. 306 clip so far this year. Pair of doubles and a triple. Driven in 6. He's played 27 games. And he's been on base in the last 7 of those. That one's outside from Hill. Kent at A&M, though, played only 28 games for the Aggies this year. Started 21 of those. But performed pretty well, a 265 average. Drove in over 20. Here's the 2-1 from Hill. Fastball right back towards us. Tyler puts his hands up. You would have had that.
Oh, that was going to be right in the mittens.
Hopefully not through the teeth.
Yeah, well, whew. I haven't found a dentist out here yet, so thank goodness for the chain link fence.
It saved us plenty of times this year. Here's the 2-2 from Hill. Fastball in off the hands, over the glove of Corona into left field. Nice piece of opposite field hitting there from Caden Kent, and they've got 2 guys on early here with 1 gone.
Little inside out action. Hill jams Kent. A little bit of a tough play for Corona, about a 3-hopper. Just kind of hits that bottom of Corona's glove. Good piece of hitting there by Kent.
He got that lefty on lefty speed with the fastball up and in, trying to jam him. And Hill did. He's just able to send it just down the third base line. First pitch to Tyler Wolfert, way up and away. Wolfert, one of a couple Oregon State guys on this roster who have been on this roster this year. As Hill's called for a balk right there. Slight flinch, and he's going to tap his chest. He knows it. That's one there where he comes set, thinks he might have the right pitch, right motion, and then just slight hesitation.
I think he just didn't come fully set. His feet came together, and it was just a quick leg kick. So never fully set.
1-0 from Hill. Slider, fly ball into right field. McCoy in normal position there. Runner on third, tagging and coming home. That's Zach McDonald. The throw not in time. 1-0 Anglers.
That's just the second run that Cameron Hill has allowed all season, and they've both come off sac flies. That other run coming against YD on July 2nd, but Tyler Wolfert there, just knowing that they're looking to get at least a run across, so just get it out of the infield, and it's probably going to do some damage, and that's exactly what he executed there.
First pitch to Aiden Miola, right down the middle for strike one, belt height. Yeah, that was one there against YD. 6-2 win for Cotuit, but another one there. That was early in Hill's start, as this 0-1 is flipped high and foul. 0-2 now to Miola. He struggled early with walking a couple guys, putting a couple guys on base, and then that's when the Red Sox just kind of took advantage of that, and you see more of that here in Chatham, taking advantage of the balk committed by Hill. Here's the 0-2, swung on and missed, strike three. So he escapes the jam, does Hill, despite giving up the run on the sacrifice fly from Tyler Wolfert. And the Anglers lead it 1-0 as the Kettleers coming up to bat for the first time after this on the Kettleers Digital Network. Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettlierstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Hi, this is Ryan Glaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers.
Bottom of the first inning. Cole Mathis will lead things off for the Kettleers here, as he's in the leadoff spot for the first time this year, and he'll be facing Trey Gibson out of Liberty, right-handed thrower, on to make his third start of the year for the Anglers. And his first pitch up and into Mathis, and he fights it off foul. Gibson made 6 appearances so far this summer, two of those being starts. He's gone 15 1/3 innings. Here's the 0-1 to Mathis, swung on and missed. Big low and away hook there. Slider 79 miles an hour. From Gibson, he's got Mathis at 0-2. Mathis checks his swing. They'll go with the first base umpire. He did go. Down goes Cole Mathis for the first strikeout of the day for Trey Gibson.
Well, that's the big thing that sticks out about Trey Gibson. He's a power arm. He's a high strikeout guy. He's had some struggles this year, giving up 21 earned runs over 15 innings for the Anglers, but he's a high strikeout guy. 17 Ks this year with Chatham. 2 years ago at Liberty, he struck out 70 over 56 frames. His freshman year as an All-American, he gave up 70 strikeouts.
Throw across to get Mathis, not in time.
And then over 65 innings.
So he does get strikeouts at an incredibly high clip despite having that 12.32 ERA. He's given up 24 hits so far on the year, and you just saw number 25 right there off the bat of Carter Matheson. Nice job by him to beat out that throw. And a tough play there on the infield by Bryce Martin Gridzelanek. Had to dive for it way to his left. It brings up Grant Norris. Runner on first. It's Carter Matheson. Norris takes that one up and away for strike one. Matheson already 5 stolen bags on the year. He's 5 for 5. And interesting, they've kind of switched up these top 2 spots. We've seen Matheson in that starting spot with that great on-base percentage, in the leadoff spot, I should say, and then Mathis usually batting after him as Norris goes down 0-2 here.
I mean, maybe you look at Mathis's home run prowess. He leads the team with 6 home runs. Maybe they want an aggressive jolt first. Matheson also has started to drive in a little bit more runs, and of course, he's leading the team with a 490 plus on-base percentage, so he's doing a little bit of both.
0-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. 94 on the fastball, up high and in from Trey Gibson against Grant Norris. It's his second strikeout of the outing. So 2 outs and 2 strikeouts here for Gibson.
Yeah, that's just a nice belt-high fastball that Morris swings over top. When you hear the ball meet the glove of the catcher, Jaden Melendez, you just hear a really pristine pop. He pumps it in there at a high clip, does Gibson.
Always love it when the glove creates that huge pop.
It's a great sound.
It gets deep in the glove there. Isn't that what you said it is? It's the deepness of the pocket, the depth?
Yeah, when there's more depth, there's a bigger pop. That's why there are some gloves and some brands even that they just have like a distinct sound. It's kind of like a guitar, really.
The sounds of baseball. Baseball is music. Upstairs there to McCoy, 3-0.
I agree with you. Very similar pace to it, rhythm.
McCoy's been getting on base at a pretty high clip himself, and he takes ball 4 there. 14th walk of the year for James McCoy. He does so on 4 pitches here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
From Missouri, third baseman, number 8, Danny Corona. Corona, number 8.
That'll bring up Danny Corona. He's making his first start in the lineup today for the Kettleers. Made an appearance a couple nights ago. And a big swing there at the first pitch he sees from Trey Gibson. 94 on the fastball, 0-1. He replaced Cole Mathis at third after Kettleers fell behind 11-1 to the Braves on Monday night. They went on to lose that one 14-3. 0-1 pitch laced into center field. Oncoming is McDonald. It bounces in front of him. Matheson coming around from second to tie it. He will. 1-1 knotted up. Here we are in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, welcome to Cotuit Danny Corona. First high-octane situation with runners in scoring position, and he tags it middle into center. A great piece of hitting there to tie the ball game.
Trotter Harlan, second baseman, College of Charleston. Harlan, number 2.
That's got to feel good for Danny Corona, who did that 45 times this year at Wake Forest. And he takes his lead over there at first. McCoy at second. Here's Trotter Harlan at the plate. Big slider there from Trey Gibson, but it's too far away. Harlan's really got a great eye. And he's had a great start to his second summer here at Cotuit. 3 for 6 so far, .500 batting average. And he watches that one go wide, 2-0.
There's a lot of bite on that slider from Gibson. I mean, when it moves, it really moves. And it's kind of a late movement, too, which is a really valuable asset to have for a pitcher like Gibson.
The 2-0 fastball in there for strike one. It's got to be huge for him to sequence those two pitches, 93, 94 on the fastball. He can place it super well, and then the slider, as you were saying, it kind of starts out straight and hard and then really takes a dive low and left, as it does there, but it's just perfectly placed at belt tight to Harlan, 2-2. It just goes to the front door with it that time. Harlan looking to continue this 2-out rally. 1 run already across, 1-1 your score. 2-2 pitch to Harlan. Slider low and away, 3-2. Harlan wanting nothing to do with that slider from Gibson.
You can even see as the ball landed in the dirt, Harlan had already taken a step back like he was taking the pitch.
If you're Gibson, you want to likely give something that he'll swing at. I'd expect the fastball here. 3-2, outside, ball 4. He did go back to the fastball, but just yanked it a little bit away. And they're loaded up here for Trey Younger.
And another strong 3-2 at-bat for Trotter Harlan. You said it. He's been finding ways to get on base. He's drawn what is now another walk.
Yeah, that's his 3rd on the year to go along with 3 hits, so been really productive in just over 10 plate appearances so far this summer for Trotter Harlan. And here's another guy who's been productive in his first couple plate appearances as well, and Trey Younger. First pitch to him takes away for ball 1. He's 3 for his first 10. He scored 5 runs and walked 4 times. Driven into of those as well, and that's partially across starting appearances and a couple of those in pinch hit spots for Younger. And as a pinch hitter, he's 2 for 2 with 2 singles and 2 walks. So he's a guy that they can really call upon at any moment, any time. He's built for situations like this. 2-0 with the bases loaded. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Even went back there to the home plate umpire, Chris Angstrom, just to ask if that was in there, and Angstrom nods. Just a borderline fastball from Gibson there.
Really well located. He comes set. Here's the 2-1. Slider low and away. He doesn't bite. Nice job by Younger to hold off on that pitch. It's 3-1. Done a great job working counts early here against Gibson. That's so huge for Chatham to get on the board early, but even bigger for Cotuit to bounce right back here in the bottom of the first. Here's the 3-1. Tapped foul. Younger spoils that one. He stays alive. Count 3-2 here. 7th batter to come up here in the bottom of the first inning for the Kettleers. 3-2. Runners go. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. That's ball 4. 1 run comes in to score. That's James McCoy. They stay loaded for Dylan Johnson, who had his catcher's shin guards on in the on-deck circle, but he'll have to strap those off and get ready for his first at-bat of the game, as the Anglers will have a mound conference.
And for Chatham, they're pretty low in terms of their bullpen arms. You even look out in that right field bullpen right now, you only see about 3-4 guys. And I think one of those guys is the bullpen catcher. So they're going to look to try and have Gibson go as many innings as he can. And you certainly don't want to see him in a situation like this, especially after getting 2 outs through the first 3 batters. So perhaps Marty Lees, the acting manager, just going out there to console Gibson, fire him up a little bit as he tries to set down what could be the final out in this half inning.
That's exactly what he'll look to do. And it's going to be Dylan Johnson. Catcher going to College of Charleston this fall. First pitch to him. That one's away, ball 1. Fastball at 93 there from Gibson. And you talk about how many arms available that these anglers have and that you want Gibson to go long in this one as Johnson takes that one down around the knees for strike 1. His last time out was just 5 days ago. He went 4 1/3 innings in long relief. That was in a 15-6 win loss, I should say, at Hyannis. He went 4 1/3. That one bounced in there. 2-1 here to Johnson, smothered by Jaden Melendez. And in that relief appearance of the starting pitcher at the time, Tanner Witt, he gave up 6 hits, 6 earned. Across 21 batters faced did Trey Gibson. 2-1 to Johnson, flips it foul. 2-2 there. 93 mile an hour fastball. We've seen mostly fastballs since that at bat against James McCoy. And that was 4 batters ago. Gibson deals. High hop from Johnson. Charging in is Miola. He looks to the bag at third. Now the throw across. It's off the glove of Will Hoyt. Gets away from him to the fence back there. 1 run already across. That was Danny Corona. And Trotter Harlan joins him. The Kettleers take advantage of the error on the hot corner of the infield by Aiden Miola. And they bring in another pair of runners to score. 4-1 Kettleers lead.
And Miola just really zipped it in there. Made a good transfer, really quick hands, soft hands too from the Oklahoma State third baseman. But the throw was really high, had a lot of speed to it, and had plenty of time to get it there. But Will Hoyt had to come out of a leap to corral it, and it just hit the top of his mitt.
So a couple come in. This is a line shot into center field. Back goes McDonald. He's got it for the 3rd out. But the Kettleers bring home 4 after the Anglers put up 1 in the top of the 1st inning. They respond with a flurry of their own. 4-1, the Kettleers lead, headed into the 2nd inning on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped
with Jimmy Middleton and Peyton Kesselring. So first question is, you went from bullpen catcher to coach. What's that been like?
It's a lot easier, but it's also a lot of fun getting to know more of the position guys as well as all the pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's an Alma Scot?
An Alma Scot is basically just anyone from Scotland, and our mascot his name's Scotty, and it's just this buff Irish or Scottish dude.
What was your walk-up song?
My walk-up song in college, I had 2. So I walked up to Diablo by Mac Miller and Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
What's it like working with Elliot Wolf?
Working with Elliot's a pleasure. We're here really early a lot of mornings, cutting grass and making sure this field looks nice.
And then last question is, if you had to pick a cornhole partner out of all the coaches, who would it be?
I gotta be honest here. I feel like Coach Roberts could throw some bags pretty well. He's got a lot of experience.
That's 90 feet with Jimmy Middleton and Peyton Kesselring.
Top of the 2nd inning. Cameron Hill back out there, and he's got some run support now. He gave up 1 run in that 1st inning against Chatham. They got the walk from Zach McDonald. He was batted over by Caden Kent. Those 2 advanced on a balk by Cameron Hill, and then Tyler Wilford batted McDonald home on a sacrifice fly. Here's the first pitch from Hill, off the glove of Dylan Johnson to trace Will Hoyt out of Lipscomb.
And Joe, if you look at what happened after that too, Cameron Hill, he got the fly out to right, struck out Aiden Miola. If it weren't for that balk, it would have been scoreless. And it was just such a subtle little movement in Hill's set position that allowed that balk to happen.
Something that was so minor, but he's just got to take one extra second. And then the runners on first and second went to second and third. And a nice piece of situational hitting by Tyler Wilford. And there's strike three. Will Hoyt chases the high fastball. Third strikeout of the day for Cameron Hill.
Elevates there on the high stuff. Some sharp cheddar there to Will Hoyt. Lipscomb's team leader in batting average this year. He's a tough out in this Chatham 9, but Hill able to set him down.
Strikeout number 37 on the year for Cameron Hill. And his first pitch to Kyson Donahue just outside for ball one. Donahue swings and misses at that one. 76 on the gun there from Cameron Hill. Donahue out of Hawaii, from Honolulu. 294 batting average this year on the island. Here's the 1-1, high fly ball, but foul. But he actually started his collegiate career at the University of Arizona and then transferred to Hawaii before the start of the 2022 season. And then in 2022, led Hawaii in batting average. So that transfer really worked out well. Bobbled by Corona, he regathers, throws on to first in time to get Donahue.
I think that play really says a lot, Joe, about the arm strength of Danny Corona, because he makes that bobble, he picks it up, but he doesn't rush the throw, which usually you're going to see a lot of guys just by nature rush that throw because you want to get there in time as quickly as possible. He even settled after that and got the throw to beat Kyson Donahue by about a half step.
Yeah, instead of reaching back and then maybe throwing one off of his back foot or back heel kind of, he resets his feet and then delivers a good strike across to Mathis, and then it was about a half step in time to get Donahue, so well worth the time to take the extra second there for Danny Corona. Smart move there. That one's 93 from Cameron Hill on the fastball. Jaden Melendez takes it upstairs for ball two. He's got a wide open batting stance, really squatted down. Nice powerful look. Here's the 2-0. High leg kick, but up and away, 3-0. As Melendez recently activated last week on July 7th. Takes that one for a strike. 91 from Hill in a 3-0 count, just looking to find the zone there.
Just any way possible. Just get it over.
3-1 from Hill. Fastball again, swing and a miss, 93. This is the fifth game that Melendez is appearing in. A pitch, fly ball, right field. McCoy ranging over, he's got it. That retires the side here in the top of the second inning. 3 up, 3 down for Cameron Hill and the Kettleers. They're coming right back up to bat after this with a 4-1 lead.
Changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Stay in touch with the Cats on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime.
First baseman, College of Charles.
Cole Mathis leads things off for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the second. And the first pitch to him, low and inside. Cole Mathis at the top of the lineup, leading off this inning just as he did the bottom of the first, as they hit through the order against Trey Gibson. Put up 4 runs. Plenty of base runners to go along with that, as they were working counts early. Really good approach at the plate early on for the Kettleers there.
I think we saw a lot of great approaches in both those half innings. Chatham stretched out a couple ABs, so did Cotuit.
Gibson finds his own 2-1.
And all 4 runs scored by the Cats with 2 down. That seems to be that consistent theme with their run production with 2 gone.
2-1 to Mathis, big swing there. Hard hack by Mathis, who has, needless to say, been swinging it well. Leads this team in home runs, and just watching him in batting practice today just makes it look so easy. Got a real effortless swing. The ball goes a long way. 2-2, he connects on this one, flared into right center field. That'll sink in for a base hit. Mathis charges around first. He's going to stay right there. A leadoff single to start off the bottom of the second inning.
Well, right on cue, as you were saying it, Joe, Mathis just kind of throws the bat out in front of a Gibson fastball inside and flicks it the other way into right.
It'll bring up Carter Matheson, looking to continue what he has done so well this season, throughout this year, especially in these last 16 games, as he extended that 16-game on-base streak to 17 his last time up, as the speakers awaken here just for a split second at Lowell Park. They'll call time. Looks like they're ready to resume. Trey Gibson deals in the dirt. Nice job by Melendez to smother it. But Matheson had that 16-game on-base streak going into that game against Bourne. Flips this one high into out of play over the home grandstand. It will just get over the last row of the home grandstands there on the third base side. But Matheson looking to do exactly what he did in his first at-bat just an inning ago. Put a single on the infield, knocked down by Martin Grudzielanek at second, but he was able to beat out the throw at first. And that's where Cole Mathis stands right now. Gibson deals. 2-1s away, 3-1. As Martin Grudzielanek still there at second. Other middle infielder Derek Fabian out of Florida. Derek Fabian, I should say. He plays short. Mathis, a fly ball. This will creep into foul ground. Charging back for it, it's Aiden Miola. It's out of his reach. Good effort put into it there by Miola. He plays third out of Oklahoma State. Trace Wilhoit at first holds the runner on there out of Lipscomb. Jaden Melendez doing the catching out of Pitt. The outfield from left to right, Kyson Donahue out of Hawaii in left, Zach McDonald in straightaway center out of Miami. Tyler Wolfert plays right field, also out of Oklahoma State. Plenty of Cowboys in this lineup. Caden Kent out of A&M. He's the designated hitter today. The 3-2 to Matheson. Line drive into left center field. That gets down for a base hit. Cut off by McDonald. Going from first to third is Mathis. He'll be there safely. Back-to-back singles for Cole Mathis and Carter Matheson to start off the bottom of the second inning. It brings up Grant Norris.
Yeah, the law firm of Mathis and Matheson continuing to make a real impact in that top of the order. And with them stringing back-to-back hits, it's kind of like an interchangeable thing, whether one's in front of the other. Those two just seem to really be producing when they are back-to-back stacked up at the top of the order.
They're on the corners right now for Grant Norris. Struck out his first time he faced Trey Gibson. The first pitch he sees from him, big slider there. Falls inside around ankle height to Norris. And he was the second out for Gibson back in the first inning. And he lines this one over the glove of Aiden Miola. Into the left field corner, that'll score one. Matheson from first will stop at third. It's an RBI double for Grant Norris, and the Kettleers extend their lead to 4.
That was cranked by Norris to drive in Mathis. Just pulls it down the left field line. We've talked about this Kettleers offense. What's very fascinating is that they score in bunches. The hitting is infectious. And Gibson, who was really rolling in that first inning, gave up those 4 runs almost consecutively. And a lot of that's just due to
Martin Grudzelanek up with it, and he completes the first out. So 1 gone here in the bottom of the second inning. On the ground out there from Danny Corona, but he advances James McCoy. Nice piece of situational hitting there. He knows that he's got a guy on second with no outs in the inning. So clearly just wants to put something right of second base to be able to get McCoy over. He does just that. Here's Trotter Harlan. Swing and a miss there at a slider. Looks like that one tipped into the glove of Melendez. Here's the pitch, the 0-1. Low and away, 1-1 here to Harlan. Looked like he saw that slider pretty well his first time up against Gibson. As he threw 4 to him, 1 was called for a strike. He didn't swing at any, but then swung at the first one he saw in this count. That's a fastball that backs him up high and in off the plate. 2-1 here to Harlan. The 2-1 from Gibson. Harlan looks at a slider low and away, 3-1. He worked a walk his last at-bat. And a great at-bat from Harlan at that. Brought it to 3-2, and then came around to score. Here's the 3-1. Fastball swung on and missed by Harlan.
I think that was one of those green light pitches where Harlan really put his lower half into that one, maybe to see if he can get it out or go into the gaps.
McCoy fakes at third. Harlan, a late emergency swing there, just looking to get a piece of the bat on the ball. He's unable to, and that's going to be the third strikeout of the day for Trey Gibson.
And that's a big recovery sequence there for Gibson. Really pounding that outside part of the plate, even when he was missing. He missed a couple on those sliders, and there were a couple that were really borderline on that outer third.
Younger looks at a strike on the slider. Yeah, it looked like Gibson's really been looking at that low and away spot, especially to right-handed hitters. That one's tipped into the glove of Melendez by Trey Younger. It's 0-2. Younger kept things going in the first inning with 2 outs. He walked after Harlan did. So a pair of base on balls for that duo. 2 of 3 in that first inning for the Kettleers. Here's the 0-2. Laced on the ground to short. Charging in Fabian, his throw in time to get Younger at first. So the Kettleers will strand McCoy at third, but he drives in a pair along with a couple others there as the Kettleers take a 7-1 lead headed into the top of the third. And before the start of the third inning, we'll check in for the first time with our sideline reporter, Lily Butler.
Another 2 great frames from Cameron Hill, the league leader in earned run average, heading into tonight being the only Cape League pitcher with an ERA under 1 at a .37. Now, earlier in the season, I spoke with Hill about his goals for the summer, and he talked about just wanting to work on the mindset of things and not thinking too much on the mound. Just a few days ago, I followed up with Hill on that, and he spoke on the peacefulness that is here in Cotuit and in the Cape League, and just talked about how it's a really welcoming environment for the calm mindset that he's been looking for. So clearly gotten into a really good groove, and excited to see more of what he's got on the mound for the Kettleers. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lily. And Hill making his way out to the mound for his third inning of work. He ran into a little bit of trouble there early, but really seemed to settle down after that.
Yeah, and I think that calm mindset that Lily was talking about has really settled in here for Cameron Hill. He's given up 2 runs this year, as we talked about before, and both those, one against YD on July 2nd, this time here on July 19th against Chatham. Well, he was in a situation where he had 2 men in scoring position against YD. He had the bases loaded. He escaped with just 1 run allowed in both of those appearances. So I think his ability to stay calm in tense situations where a team like Chatham was really getting to him says a lot about that mental improvement on the mound for Hill.
And he's facing the number 9 man in the Anglers order in Derek Fabian. Takes that one on the outer half for strike 1. 79 there from Hill. Looked like a change up there, throwing that to a right-handed batter, one that'll break away from them. And there's a slider away at 75. And before this 1-1 pitch from Hill, the home plate umpire is going to ask the man on deck to get closer to the Chatham dugout. That's Bryce Martin Grudzelanek. Here's a fly ball into left center field, moving to his left. Younger, he's got it in the alley.
That wind really not going to play a factor in this game. If you see on your screen there on the shot on the Younger catch, that flagpole is taking a nap right now. So that was well clipped by Derek Fabian. He put a good charge into it, but wind not really making it carry too much.
Bryce Martin Grudzelanek fans and misses at that slider low and away from Hill. As it's cleared up pretty nicely above Lowell Park. Started out cloudy right around first pitch, but that has since blown away. Turned in a Turned into a pretty nice afternoon here in Cotuit as Cameron Hill goes ahead 0-2 here on Martin Grudzielanek, and another good crowd on hand. Fans in their lawn chairs down the left and right field lines, filling up both grandstands as well. The 0-2 from Hill, up and away.
The humidity has decreased as well. Well, maybe not that much of a breeze, but I think it's just naturally as we've neared sunset coming up in about 2 hours, it's starting to go down.
1-2 from Hill, swung on and missed, strike three. Bryce Martin Grudzielanek goes after the low and away slider, but comes up empty for the second time today, and that's the fourth strikeout of the game for Cameron Hill. So make that 38 on the summer for Cameron Hill, as he is now 3 above second place in the Cape Cod Baseball League, which just so happens to be Cam Schulke out in the left field bullpen right now. There's definitely a chance we could see him appear in this game. 1-0 from Hill, swung on and missed. 1-1 here to Zach McDonald, who walked his first time up and came around to score on that sacrifice fly by Tyler Wolfert. Hill set, here's the 1-1. Fastball just below the knees. McDonald out of the Miami of Ohio. Here's the 2-1, swung on and missed. More off speed down low there from Hill, and into the 70s too. 76 there. 2-2. Fastball up and in. Not necessarily where Johnson wanted it. He lined up a little bit low and away. Hill just looking to find that target here. The 3-2. Just barely tapped foul by Zach McDonald. He stays alive.
I'm loving the way that Dylan Johnson's going down into a one knee. His left leg is kind of extending out. It's like watching former Major League catcher Tony Pena, Pirates, Red Sox, Cleveland, has that leg out, able to just get under it quickly.
He's got like a half squat here. That one's up and in with the 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Hill. Unable to get Zach McDonald. He's on his way to first with his second walk of the day.
He has strung together some really good at-bats. Both on 3 and 2. That time not fouling off as much pitches because they were either strikes or they were balls. Not too much to fend off.
Kent likes the first pitch he sees, skies it foul towards the parking lot. It takes a jump there and will split the line of cars in the Lowell Park parking lot. Looks like everything's okay. Avoided plenty of bumpers and windshields with that one. Caden Kent on for his second at-bat of the game. He takes that one down low for ball one. 1-1 here to Kent. He ripped that single through the right side his first time up. Hill with 2 outs here in the third. Finds the zone on the slider. But Kent with that single. .26 hits on the year now, .302 average. Here's the 1-2. Kent gets a piece of it, rolled up the middle to Norris. He'll make the easy play at second to retire the side. Kettleers still leading 7-1 here as we go into the bottom of the third inning on the Kettleers Digital Network.
At the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Dylan Johnson leads things off for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He's the 8th man in this order, followed by Brock Wills, and then at the top half in Cole Mathis. And the first pitch from Trey Gibson on the way. The fastball is in there for strike 1. Gibson hanging in out there, starting his 3rd inning of work. Kettleers have 6 hits to go along with 3 walks, but a nice job there by Gibson, who walked 3 batters in the 1st inning and then really did a nice job of throwing strikes in the 2nd. Kettleers were just seeing it well. Put together 4 hits on the board. Here's the 1-1 to Johnson, swung at and missed. It's 1-2.
But after those 4 hits that Gibson allowed, he set down the next 3 batters he faced.
Just the top half of the order really seeing him well. Pitch to Dylan Johnson, high chop. Back a couple steps as Miola heaves it across the diamond. That one's out of the reach of Will Hoyt. Boy, he didn't really have much of a play on that ball from Miola. And Johnson's aboard to lead off the bottom of the 3rd inning on the error.
And that'll be the 2nd throwing error on Miola. He had that one on Dylan Johnson's bouncer back in the 1st. But it looked like, and again, this is just from our vantage point in the booth, but it looked like that he just couldn't get the ball out into his hands cleanly. Sometimes the infielder will try and have a grip they like just because it's muscle memory, but it looked like it just kind of slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, definitely could have. Wills lays down the bunt. He can't quite get a handle on it. Miola boots it. And Wills advances to first on the bunt single on the infield there. They got a pair of runners on to start off the bottom of the 3rd.
That is just such a gorgeous bunt where if you're Miola, and even if you were playing in like he was, there's nothing you could do about it. Brock Wills just pushes it up that 3rd base line. There's no doubt that it's going to stay in play. You've seen the bunting skills improve of Brock Wills after making his first plate appearance of the summer.
I tried to lay down the bunt a couple times. That was in the extra innings game at Harwich, game that Cotuit lost 3-2. But is able to place that one perfectly down the 3rd base line and didn't even draw a throw. He advances to first easily. 1st and 2nd for Cole Mathis. High fly ball into left field. Going back on it, Donahue a couple steps in front of the track. He hauls that one in. Tagging from 2nd to 3rd goes Johnson. He dives in safely. So nearly home run number 7 on the summer for Cole Mathis, but he comes up just a couple feet short. But he advances the man from 2nd to 3rd, so they're on the corners here for Carter Matheson.
Just like Derek Fabian did for Chatham to lead off that 3rd inning, if there were a little bit of wind just to guide it, I think Fabian and Mathis would both have long balls to left.
Matheson cuts and misses at that 86-mile-an-hour change down low from Gibson. But yeah, like you were saying earlier, Tyler, that flag in center field just by its wayside, not moving at all. Quiet night here in Cotuit. And it's turned into a good one at that. The sun peeking through the clouds to our left. Gibson's 1-1 on the way. Wills going towards 2nd. He slides in there safely, cut off by Fabian. And a nice job by Dylan Johnson to stay close to the third base bag as that play works out pretty well for the Kettleers. They move a runner up to second.
And Chatham defended it well, too. Melendez had the throw to second, maybe looked like a design throw to third. Just looking at the way Martin Gertzelanek got out, or excuse me, Fabian got it out of the glove so quickly, or maybe that was just heads-up baseball. Probably the latter.
Gibson will take his foot off the rubber and reset. As the runner's now on second and third for Carter Matheson. 2 for 2 on the day so far. 1 and 2. Grounded foul just in front of Mike Roberts, but not close enough to being a fair ball. They're still on second and third, as the Kettleers have done pretty well, especially so far tonight with runners in scoring position. But they left 3 men on base across those first 2 innings, 2 of which were in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 to Matheson again. Big hook, but too high. Matheson called on strikes. That breaking ball just perfectly settles on the outside corner there for Trey Gibson. He picks up another strikeout on the night, and he's recovered nicely as he's gotten 2 quick outs after putting the first 2 guys of the inning on base.
Nifty backdoor hook there by Gibson. He's thrown 42 strikes now, and most of them have been on those outer or inner thirds of the plate. He's throwing paint on the corners of the plate.
He paints the inside corner there to Norris. 0-1 to him. Norris with that double in the second inning. He drove in Cole Mathis. That was one that he put down the left field line. Here's the 0-1 to Norris. Fly ball into center field. McDonald moving back. It's off the fence. Johnson scores. Wills scores. Norris glides into second with a 2 RBI double, and the Kettleers take a 9-1 lead.
A missile to center. It's 397 out there, and Norris got almost all of it. Kind of hits halfway up that chain link wall in center. Not much McDonald can do about that one. And Grant Norris, you talk about seeing it well. He's been doing just that since he was activated before that July 6th ball game against Falmouth.
Back-to-back doubles for Grant Norris. And here's a guy who had a double an inning ago, but he gets on top of this one and rolls it to the right side. Backhanded by Will Hoyt, and he steps on the bag himself to get the third out. We're through 3 here at Lowell Park. Kettleers leading 9-1. You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Hi, this is Ryan Glaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly.
Top of the fourth inning. Heart of the lineup coming up here for the Anglers. 4, 5, and 6. Tyler Wolford starts things off against Cameron Hill. And he turns and fires a fastball down low, popped out of the glove of Johnson, ball 1. What have you liked from Hill here in these past couple innings?
I've really liked that backdoor slider that he's been throwing to right-handed hitters. He's gotten 4 strikeouts overall, and that sliding stuff has really been working. And the changeup, too, has been a nice piece. But especially when you're seeing him thrown to righties like Wolford, he's got great control of that breaking ball so far.
He goes to this breaking ball here, a high fly ball into the gap in left center field. Out of the reach of Trey Younger, it bounces into the fence. He picks it up, though, and heaves it towards the infield. And he fell over his outfielder mate and Carter Matheson out there as he released it. But a nice leadoff double there to start off the top of the fourth inning for Tyler Wolford.
And that's the spot that Hill's going for there, but he hangs it a little bit more towards the heart of the plate, and Wolford just gets a hold of it. Tyler Wolford, he's had a productive first 2 at-bats.
A sac fly in the first inning. That's the 1 run on the board for Chatham in this one. But a good start to this fourth inning. They haven't had a man in scoring position since Caden Kent was on third in the first, and he was batted in by Tyler Wolford. That one catches the low and inside corner to Aiden Miola, who struck out swinging his first time up, the second strikeout at the time for Cameron Hill. 2 more since then. Up to 4 on the outing and 38 on the summer, a league lead. The 1-1's away, 77, so it looks like he's really been going to that off speed a lot more as we've progressed through this outing.
He started out fastball heavy. He's kind of made those in-game adjustments, it seems.
2-1. Breaking ball just away. Boy, good pitch there from Hill, but it's 3-1. Could you think that could be kind of just, he's made 1 rotation through the order already, trying to keep them on their toes a little bit?
Bingo. Second time, third time through the order type of thing that Hill's been going through.
3-1. Breaking ball perfectly placed. He gets over the top, 3-2.
That's got to be a great quality in a pitcher, too, to have that adaptability as the game goes on. Because that first time of the order allows you to see if things aren't working right or if the offense is getting to you, well, then you can find different ways to overcome that.
The 3-2, another breaking ball, flipped high into right field. McCoy moving back on it. He hauls it in. Runner from second going up to third. That's Tyler Wolford, so he moves up to 90 feet away, but with 1 gone. And Trace Wilhoit coming up to the dish.
57, Trace Wilhoit, first baseman.
Wilhoit struck out his first time up. That was to lead off the second inning, but now Mike Roberts thinking about possibly making his first pitching change of the game. There is an arm warming up out in the Cotuit bullpen. It looks like here just a conference to talk over the strategy and possibly what Chatham's going to turn on here with a runner on third and 1 gone.
Especially with Wilhoit. Struck out his first time up, but this is a situation similar to the first inning. With 1 down, there's a man on third. See what Chatham does here, how they might want to play situations. I think it's all about being proactive.
Yeah, and it looks like Mike Roberts will make that move to the bullpen. So Cameron Hill's day is done. That makes way for the new right-handed thrower in Brock Peary. So they go from the big left-handed southpaw in Cameron Hill. And now making the move to Brock Peary with a man on third here in the fourth inning, one gone. Another great start from Cameron Hill.
He fanned 4. He only allowed 2 hits after allowing 4 in his last start against Wareham. I mean, a small sample size, 3 1/3 innings, but those watching get a taste at the dominance of Cameron Hill this year.
And he has been incredibly dominant, and he has carried that into another start at Lowell Park here today. And he goes 3 1/3, gives up a couple of hits, one final one in the fourth inning that has since moved up to 90 feet away. So they'll make a pitching change here with a 9-1 lead at Lowell Park. We'll be back in just a moment.
Activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Stay in touch with the Cats on our social media.
57.
Trace Wilhoit digs in, and he'll be facing Brock Peary out of the bullpen in relief of Cameron Hill. Here's the first pitch, and a slider that takes Johnson way to his right. 75 on the sweeper there from Brock Peary for ball 1 against Trace Wilhoit, who struck out in his first at-bat to lead off the second inning. Tyler Wilford led off this inning with a double, and he advanced to third on the fly ball from Aiden Miola. Chatham just looking to add to their 1 run that's on the board already. Here's the 1-1 from Peary. It's away. Peary out of Arizona State, making his 5th appearance of the summer. All in relief. The 2-1 home. Fastball fouled off towards the Cotuit dugout. Peary 9 earned runs across his first 3 appearances, but his last time out in that 14-3 loss against Bourne. Just a couple days ago, he went 2 1/3 innings, struck out 2 against 9 batters faced, no runs, no hits, no walks. Here's the 2-2 on the outside corner for strike 3. 10th strikeout of the summer for Brock Peary, and in a big moment, picks up the second out of the top of the 4th inning. The runner on third has to stay right where he's at.
The K-ball is really how you tell that Brock Peary is on. He's pitched 2 scoreless outings this year, Joe, and he has struck out at least 2 in both of those. On July 17th against Bourne, July 13th against Wareham, and that sidearm toss working early against Wilhoit.
Sidearm deal here. Line drive down the right field line. That sinks in for a base hit. Kyson Donahue brings 1 home. He's on his way to second. He'll be in there standing up. And he cuts into the Cotuit lead, now 9-2.
2 doubles in this frame for Chatham. A team that's kind of near the bottom of the league with 33 this year. Donahue just ropes one right down the line. Gets a pitch he likes. Right around that inner half of the plate. And Donahue stringing together a hit.
His 4th RBI of the year. And that run brings home their 2nd of the game. This one skied just beyond the infield. Harlan going back, and he hauls it in. So that retires the side here in the top of the 4th inning. Chatham gets one back on an RBI double from Kyson Donahue. Kettleers leading 9-2 going into the bottom of the 4th.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball
Danny Corona will lead things off for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the 4th. He's 1 for 2 so far on the day. Drove in his first RBI as a Kettleer in the 1st inning. Helped the Kettleers take that early lead after Chatham got on the board early. That was in the top of the 1st on a sacrifice fly. They took that 1-0 lead. Cotuit responded with 4 runs of their own in the bottom of the 1st. And then they tacked on 3 in the 2nd and then 2 in the 3rd. All against Trey Gibson, who remains on the mound here for the bottom of the 4th, and he's got Danny Corona at 0-2. As there is some activity in the Chatham bullpen. There's the pitch from Gibson. Fastball, chopper on the infield. Gibson to his right, flips it to first. And that's the first out of the 4th inning. Good job there by Gibson to get the first out of the frame, as that's something that he struggled with in these last couple, and it's a big reason as to why Cotuit has been able to keep their offense going.
Absolutely, and especially I think getting the second out is going to be even more critical because he has not gotten back-to-back outs. Consequently, it's been an out, a hit, or back-to-back hits to start off an inning. Let's see what he does here.
It's bounced in there to Trotter Harlan. He's on for his 3rd plate appearance here in the 4th inning. A walk in the 1st, strikeout in the 2nd. And to your point, Tyler, Kettleers led off the last inning, the 3rd, with 2 runners on at the top half. They got 2 singles from Cole Mathis and Carter Matheson, and then Grant Norris and James McCoy followed those up with a pair of doubles. They've just been starting off these innings incredibly well. And the 2-0 to Harlan is up and away, 3-0. He was able to string together some outs there after a rough start in the 2nd. After those first 4 guys he faced got on, he went 1-2-3 after that. 3-0 to Harlan. He gets on top as he goes inside with the fastball to Harlan. Count 3-1. Then the error to start off against Johnson in the 3rd. But then here, Corona gets the ground out. Big swing and a miss there on Trotter Harlan. And this is the 3rd at-bat of the day for Harlan, and now the 3rd time that he's sent the count to full. Just been working up these counts all day, has Harlan. Here's the 3-2. Flared into shallow right field. Going back on it, Martin Grudzelanek, and he hauls that one in.
That's a long run for Martin Grudzelanek. He was playing about a few steps in on the dirt, and he meanders all the way out
near the line in medium deep right field. And that's tough too when you're fighting where the sun is right now. The ball's kind of hiding against the sky. That's a lot of concentration.
Big hack there from Younger. 76 on the off speed from Gibson. Yeah, Martin Grudzielanek kind of going into shallow right field and then makes kind of a basket catch as if he's a wide receiver, bringing that one in over the right shoulder. That's one there where you might think that the right fielder Wolfert would call him off, but he was playing a little bit more in the gap, it seemed, to Trotter Harlan, which is a place that Harlan has really placed his base hits really well these past couple games. The past couple hits that he has so far this summer, of which he's got 3. But Trey Younger 0 for 1, walked in the first with the bases loaded. He was left stranded on third. The 1-2 to him. Breaking ball launched right back up the middle. Sliding grab by Fabian, but it pops out of the glove. So a nice effort there by Derek Fabian. But Trey Younger advances to first with a 2-out infield single.
Slider by Gibson just dragged over the low part of the plate. So Younger stings it back up the middle, waits on it. That's a pitch that sometimes guys lean out of or are late to it. Well, Younger was just right on cue, and a great stop by Fabian. Just kind of squirms out of his glove. Took a really big carom, so maybe it was when his glove went down and it hit the dirt. But you got to love the effort there by the newly minted Auburn Tiger.
Yeah, it would have been a really difficult play to make for Fabian. Younger's got great speed moving up that first base line, but just a great job to knock it down. Real impressive. He was playing more towards the hole, and then it just kind of caroms off the mound. But here's Dylan Johnson. He's reached twice on a pair of errors. The 1-1 from Gibson, lined over the glove of Derek Fabian into left field. That's a base hit. So Dylan Johnson continues to get on base, but his first hit of the night comes here in the 4th inning, and they got 2 on with 2 outs for Brock Wills. But that's going to have to wait, as it looks like the Anglers and Marty Lees will be looking to make his first pitching change of this contest. Kettleers having a 9-2 lead, and they've just ripped back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 gone. So a new arm in for the Anglers. The Kettleers leading 9-2 on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Hi, this is Ryan Glaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Cats on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a new pitcher for the Anglers in the bottom of the fourth inning, relieving Trey Gibson. After 3 2/3 innings of work, it's Liam Paddock on to make his 7th appearance for Chatham so far this year. He hails out of Gonzaga University, and he's pitched 13 2/3 of an inning so far this summer. And just looking to get this third out here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Kettleers have men on first and second for Brock Wills. Lefty on lefty matchup, and a big swing there on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Liam Paddock for strike one. Dylan Johnson's on first. He singled. Trey Younger is on second. He singled on the infield. As more two-out hitting in the fourth inning for the Kettleers have extended this inning. This one's up the middle and through for a base hit. Younger coming around from second to score the 10th run of the game off the bat of Brock Wills. He drives in another, and the Kettleers lead it 10-2.
Well, we've just seen the last 2 of the 3 singles in this inning with 2 outs. They've just been up the middle. A simple swing. Wills barrels it up, just bounces it off the mound, then off the back of the dirt. And another run, 2 in this inning. Should be another run, just 1 in this inning with 2 outs.
First pitch to Cole Mathis is fouled straight back into the fencing. The Kettleers entered this game hitting at a 308 clip with runners on base. So it's not something that they are anything new to. They've just really hit that home tonight. That one tucked in down the third base line. A fair ball off the bat of Cole Mathis. 1 run comes in to score. Wills coming around to score from first. The throw, there will be no throw, and the Kettleers take a 10-run lead.
He can just do it all, Cole Mathis. He can pitch at a 3.17 ERA. He can hit with an OPS of over 1,000, and he can double in 4 of his last 5 games. That one just roped. Not much Miola could do about it. It was just kissed inside the third base line. And Mathis with a 2-bagger to clear the base paths.
Make that 26 ribbies on the summer for Cole Mathis. He wipes him off and replaces himself at second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Lined up the middle by Carter Matheson. McDonald charging in, dives. No notion yet from the umpires, but it looks like he made the play. That's the 3rd out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. He robs Carter Matheson of a base hit, but the Kettleers extend their lead to 10. They lead it 12-2, headed into the top of the 5th. Proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit.
Top of the fifth inning from Lowell Park. Kettleers leading 12-2. Joe Pratt, Tyler Danberg, Abigail Lott, Lily Butler, and Liam Barrett with you. But we welcome in Liam in this fifth inning with the headset on. Thanks for joining us, Liam.
Well, I'm glad you guys finally had me up in here. You know, it was about time.
You are our director, so you do get the open invite.
You sit 2 feet away.
You know, the people up top said no till now.
Well, glad you're joining us here as Peary sends that one across the zone 2-0. And it is the fifth inning. And as we've done normally at road games with Liam, since this is one of his last games here at home for the Kettleers, as you'll be moving on to accept a job in your hometown in Los Angeles. But before we get into that, what do you have for us for a fun fact?
Well, I got a good one. I started this series with a no-hitter fun fact, so I thought it was only right to end it with a no-hitter fun fact, at least at home. And I'm going to take you guys back to 2002. We got Nickelback at the top of the charts. Also, Nelly, Hot in Here, number 3 on the charts. I know you like that song, Joe.
Can't forget, no.
The Sopranos was the most popular show on TV. And the last no-no to be thrown at Lowell Park was a combined one, and it was against Chatham in a 9-1 win.
What a find there.
I do my best, fellas. I do my best.
You do your research.
Oh, yeah. This was... I had this fact ready since probably a month ago.
You've been planning this?
Oh, that's what I'll stick to. It's going to be my story.
You would have been 2, right?
I would have been... Yeah, maybe just 1 and a... I'd have to do the math on that. I was born in 2001, so probably 1. But, you know, I'd be climbing an age at that point. I was getting my wits about me, learning how to walk and stuff.
You knew what was going on.
Oh, yeah. I was watching the Sox. I was watching the Pats. You know, I got all those games already in front of me. Watching with my dad. Him sneaking me a few sips of beer. I didn't say that to you guys, though.
Bryce, excuse me, Tyler, I'm just going to say Bryce Martin Grudzelanek is at the plate, 2-0 the count. Brock Peary finds the zone, so 2-1 after he walked Derek Fabian to lead off the inning. He's on first, but carry on, Tyler.
Favorite moment at Lowell Park so far this year for you?
Well, I think it's got to be that 18-0 blowout against Wareham. You know, you don't get many blowouts like that. That was just a spectacular hitting and pitching performance. You know, shutting a team out like that and dropping 18 on the board. You know, that's just special. I think up there with it, though, has got to be was that the same game Galaney was in? I don't think so. I think whatever game Galaney was up in the booth and doing all the jobs, that was one of my favorite broadcasts, too. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was sometime last week. That was a really great time. Galaney obviously joining the White Sox organization, drafted by them in the 13th round this year. He'll be joining plenty of Kettleers taken by that franchise. But Liam, this will be one of your last home games here. You've spent the last 4 years at Arizona State. What's next for you?
Well, I had an interview with Fox Sports as this gets into shallow center.
Yeah, McCoy's got that one for the first out.
And I hope it went well. I'll be hearing back in the next few weeks, but I'm moving back home to Los Angeles to do some sports production. And it's what I've been wanting to do for the last year or so. I stepped behind the camera. I was doing some broadcasting before that, but decided it was best for me to be behind the camera, to leave it to the pretty faces like you guys in the booth. And I'll be moving back to Los Angeles to continue that.
That's going to be really fun. What are you looking forward to most about having a job specifically in Los Angeles, but then for a great company such as that?
Well, you know, it's one of those lucky positions to be in. You get to cover some really high quality games, be around some high quality people. And I grew up in Los Angeles, so it's a special place to me. I'm excited to move back home. I'll be back around my nephew. He's pretty young. He's 4 right now. So, you know, he's starting to get into the sports years. I wanted to be there for him, be around him while he's doing that. But, yeah, it'll be great to be around family. I'm glad to be out of the desert. I've been in Arizona for 4 years, full-time, except for the summers. And, you know, it's a little bit too hot for my taste.
There's one guy on the mound who's pretty used to those hot Arizona summers, and Brock Peary. Or I should say, the years at Arizona. What have you liked? How great has it been to come up here onto the Cape and see so many Sun Devils competing in the Cape League?
Well, you know, the longer you're at Arizona State, the more you realize I think a good percentage of the population is also from Arizona State. We're not shy in accepting people, and we have pretty good sports too. So you end up seeing a lot of people around, especially in the media. Arizona State has one of the better broadcasting and journalism schools. And so you end up seeing a lot of professionals around. It's a great program to be a part of. You meet some really good people, and you get a lot of great connections.
It really is great, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward, Liam, and thank you for joining us here. But we're going to have a pitching change here from Lowell Park. That's going to be the day for Brock Peary. A new arm in from the Cotuit bullpen with a pair of runners on for the Anglers here, and one out in the top of the 5th. We'll be back from Lowell Park in just a moment.
He hits it high and deep to left field. This ball is crushed.
We welcome you back in from Lowell Park. Joe Pratt, Tyler Danberg, Liam Barrett with you, and the rest of our crew as well. That's the night for Brock Peary. He goes one frame, giving up one hit, and it makes way for Aiden Hunter out of the bullpen. He'll be facing Caden Kent with Derek Fabian at second. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek stands at first. Plenty of shadows casting in from left to right over this Cotuit infield, and Aiden Hunter finds the zone for strike one. A bit of an interesting situation there as Peary starts out the count against Kent and then makes the pitching change to Aiden Hunter in the middle of the at-bat. That's not something that's too out of character for Mike Roberts, as the 2-1 finds the zone 2-2.
Yeah, sometimes it's just one of those changes where when it's mid-count, sometimes that can throw the hitter off. They got to reset their approach, regardless of where they stand in the at-bat.
Hunter turns and fires 2-2 on the ground sharply. Diving play by Harlan, but he kicks it into center field. Coming around to score from second is Derek Fabian, and the Anglers get one run closer. It's 12-3.
That time it's just hit back up the middle. Harlan makes a great diving attempt and almost gloved it in cleanly. Hits that tip of his glove. Caden Kent, how about him? He's got 28 hits now on the season, and 25 of them have been singles. Just a simple approach.
just been finding those gaps. Here's the first pitch from Hunter. Down low to Tyler Wolford.
Liam, I think one of the most underappreciated aspects of what you've done this year, what you and Abigail have done behind the scenes has been incredible, and it's the ability to switch up the cameras and make the viewing experience so accessible. What goes into stuff behind the scenes as you see a single there, an RBI single from Tyler Wolford, just so beautifully switched by Abigail Lott?
Well, you kind of just take what you see. You know, I feel like everyone, it's true in most media jobs, you look at what professionals do your whole life. Most people have watched the sports game, so you kind of get a feel for how it should look, and you try to replicate it as best you can. You know, this is the Cape League, so we don't have the big-time funding of Nesson or people like that, but, you know, we try our best to keep it running smooth and looking good for the viewers at home who didn't make their way out to the ballpark.
I think there's also plenty of looking into what other teams are doing in the league as well. The Chatham guys, obviously, they do a great job with their broadcasts, and we've spent a lot of time kind of comparing other broadcasts and looking at some things that we can maybe add to make it better. And have you done much of that as well?
Yeah, I mean, you always look at your peers and see what they're doing and see what you like, see what you don't like, maybe take some stuff from them, maybe try to improve on other things they do. It's like iron sharpens iron, you know. It's everyone in the Cape League's around the same age. We're all young professionals. We're just trying to do the best we can. So you just try to look at what other people are doing as that ball goes by, and you try to keep improving every broadcast. Just try to be better than the last one. And it doesn't always end up that way, but, you know, you just keep trying to get better, and usually you end up being better.
That almost sounds like Mike Roberts after a game, just trying to get better every single day.
A lot of polishing. A lot of polishing.
Swung on and missed. That's strike three. Hunter picks up a big-time second out there as the pitch before kicked away from Dylan Johnson. So the runners both move up into scoring position, but Aiden Miola goes down on strikes for the second time today, brings up Trace Wilhoit.
That's one of the great things about the Cape League. Whether you go from the guys on the field to the intern departments, I mean, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's trying to get better.
Line shot past the glove of Corona, but they'll say it's foul.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the best parts about the Cape League is everyone's in a similar stage of their life, no matter what they're trying to get into. And so we're all just taking what we can from each other, learning what we can do best. And, you know, that's really what this Cape League is. It's a learning experience. It's an internship where you can try things you haven't tried before, be a little more creative, less of a box. And you can really just go out there and learn what you like to do and what you're good at. It makes it easy when we have broadcasters like you guys to make the broadcast seem good. You know, we're all on the same page. I don't have to do too much effort with you guys. I'll let you guys fly.
Well, you've done a great job of keeping us in check.
It's a team effort, that's for sure.
Definitely. But you clearly have a knack for kind of having the director abilities and kind of running the show a little bit, because you're very good at giving us instructions and giving us kind of feedback on what we're doing. And obviously, needless to say, you've done an unbelievable job in producing some great videos and productions at that. Where did you kind of get those skills, the video producing?
It's just a lot of trial and error, a lot of failure. You know, I put myself in a lot of situations I wasn't comfortable with as the last batter is retired.
Yeah, Hunter gets a nice called strike three there. Chatham will leave two stranded.
And I'll actually answer the rest of this question when we come back. Leave you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger at home.
All right, so the rest of that story and more from Liam Butler when we come back on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on Kettleers Store
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune in to all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Kettleers lead 12-4. Joe Pratt, Tyler Danberg, Liam Barrett with you. Did I get that right? Liam Barrett?
Oh, I think you got it right this time, Joe. And I don't think the first time was a mistake, but I'll let it slide.
The first time meaning back in Bourne, I believe it was 3rd game of the year, 2nd road game.
Well, it's definitely not the first time you call me Liam Butler, but, you know, it's all right. I'm fine with being in the same category as Lily. She does a great job. But, you know, I'll remember that, Joe. I'll remember it.
I'll remember Liam Barrett.
Well, I'll finish what I was talking about before we went to the break. I think the skills just come from trying your best to do things you're not comfortable with. You know, that's would be my one advice to anyone trying to get into this industry is you gotta try to do everything and figure out what you're good at, what you're not good at. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you figure out stuff, and you know, you usually end up getting better through the process. I feel like that's one of those things that I've gotten a lot better with is continuing to learn new things in environments I don't feel that comfortable in. Just try it out, and then you end up either swimming or sinking. And I've been swimming so far.
Grant Norris swims on to first base with a leadoff walk.
Oh, you're on a roll. You are on a roll. And a great AB there by Grant Norris. He's been on a roll too.
Yeah, 2 doubles so far today and 3 driven in. And it brings up James McCoy, first time batting from the right side.
Liam, you're a southpaw just like Liam Paddock, a southpaw on, and a fellow Liam. What was in your pitch arsenal?
Oh, in Little League, I had a little bit too many pitches, I'd say. It's the reason I ended up ruining my elbow by the time I got to 7th grade. But I had a nice fastball with a little natural tail to it, like most lefties. Good 2-seamer. This knuckle curve that I like to throw to get batters looking a little silly. And then I had a normal curve. That was my 4-pitch arsenal. It was a little bit too much for someone that age, but, you know, in the moment, I got a lot of fun strikeouts, good games at the mound, but if I could do it again, I'd probably limit myself to a fastball and a changeup.
1-2 to McCoy is away. It seems like most of these guys kind of go with that 3 to 4-pitch arsenal, so plenty of guys like to mix things up, just like yourself, as McCoy runs this count full. Has there been anybody on this Kettleers team, especially that have kind of recently made their way here, that you've particularly liked to watch?
I think one of my favorite, he's not with the team anymore, but Tanner Thatcher's one of my favorite. Ryan Galaney also. And Cole Mathis got to be up there too. I'll let you guys go because we're going to have to send it over in a little while to Lily. So I'm going to exit the booth, but I'm glad I was here, and I appreciated the time.
That was awesome, Liam. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to go get the cameras in a great spot so they'll be ready when Lily comes on at the end of this inning.
Yes, sir.
And there's 2 gone, so best of luck. Thank you. First pitch flipped back and foul by Danny Corona. There's 2 gone. After Grant Norris led off the inning with a walk, and then James McCoy grounded that one into a double play. Liam Paddock settled in nicely into this relief appearance, his 6th of the summer. 1-1 here to Corona, who is 1 for 3 on the day, an RBI single in the first, a couple ground outs after that. Paddock with the 1-1, kicks and deals. Breaking ball down low, 2-1. 74 on the gun there from Paddock with the breaking ball. Kettleers have had at least 2 hits in each of the first 4 innings. The 2-1, line drive towards the right side. Boy, Corona really on top of that pitch from Liam Paddock, a pitch that was up in the zone too.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to get out in front of it and then kind of swing a little bit downwards to pull something like that on the ground.
Right side of the infield playing back. The 2-2 is fouled off again. Plenty of shadows casting through from left to right. The left side of the infield almost completely submerged by the tall trees to our left and all around the Cotuit ballpark. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. As Jaden Melendez will put the tag on Danny Corona to complete the bottom of the 5th inning. After 3 batters faced by Liam Paddock in that frame, Kettleers still lead it 12-4. And when we come back, Tyler Danberg will have the play-by-play from here on out. But before then, we're going to send things downstairs with our sideline reporter, Lily Butler, and she's got a special guest. What do you got for us, Lily?
Yeah, Joe, very, very special guest joining me today, college baseball legend, 2017 and 2018 Cotuit Kettleer, and now employee of D1 Baseball. This is Stephen Schock. Thank you so much for joining me, Stephen. Now, just being back here in Cotuit, your return, what kind of memories and emotions does that bring back for you?
It brings back a lot of weird ones. Some I probably shouldn't talk about right here, but just so much fun. I mean, one of my best friends from the Cape was Joey Walsh. Still one of my best friends. He's here. So seeing him brings back a lot of good memories of just hanging out in the bullpen and having fun with guys.
Absolutely. And a team clearly that is overflowing with talent here this season's Cotuit Kettleer roster, but is there a few names that have stuck out to you in particular?
I'm biased, but I love Cam Schulke. Cam Schulke is just a grinder. He's one of the guys who, like myself, he got up here just because, weird arm slot guy, by happen chance, landed in Cotuit and has thrived, so it's been a lot of fun watching.
Absolutely. And I just have one more quick question for you. Are you still afraid of caves?
Absolutely. I won't go near it. The cave is safe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me, Stephen. Now back to you guys.
Well, there's your verdict. Stephen Schock, not a cave guy.
No.
But he is a Cam Schulke guy.
Definitely, aren't we all?
I think so. It's hard to disagree with something like that. What a run Schulke's been on. As Aiden Hunter deals one outside to Kyson Donahue, who drove in a run with a double back in the 4th, the 2nd run for Chatham. On the ground and past the diving Harlan. Donahue's got back-to-back at-bats with a base knock.
Yeah, nice single there from Kyson Donahue. Keeps things going after that RBI double in the 4th. That was great there, Lily Butler and Stephen Schock. How about that hat he had on? Baseball is rad. College baseball is rad?
College baseball is rad, which it is. And if it weren't rad, then we probably wouldn't be here right now. Jaden Melendez. Eyes went in there from Aiden Hunter for a strike. Jaden Melendez, the brother of MJ Melendez, top prospect for Kansas City, now with the Royals. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife, can play everywhere. And they're both catchers. A lot of family connections on this Chatham team to Major League alumni and current players. A swing and a miss. Jaden Melendez goes fishing. He's now got a pair of flyouts and a strikeout. And Aiden Hunter with his third K of the day.
Yeah, Hunter's been really solid since entering this game. He replaced Brock Peary, who put together a pretty solid inning of work. But Hunter gave up a couple singles, but then rebounded really nicely after that and just picked up his third K.
12-4 Kettleers. Here's Derek Fabian. His brother Judd also played with him at Florida, now in the Baltimore Orioles organization. Fabian walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Aiden Hunter, Joe, just one of those many College of Charleston guys.
How about this trio, or excuse me, I should say this set of 4 guys on the right side of the infield for the Kettleers. Future Cougar behind the plate, Trotter Harlan at second, Cole Mathis at first.
The Charleston Polygon. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And of course, those 4 took a picture before the game. Cougars on the Cape was the caption from College of Charleston baseball. That's pretty cool. 2-2. Poked into left. Donahue singles. He moves to second. Now Fabian knocks one through the left side. He's got his first hit of the ball game. And the scorecard flips to Bryce Martin Grudzelanek.
Yeah, those two starting to see it really well as this game has progressed. Kyson Donahue in the 7 spot, Fabian in the 9 spot. They both reached base twice in their last 2 at-bats. Donahue with a couple hits, and now Fabian a single and a walk. He came around to score on one back in the 5th.
And Martin Grudzelanek 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a reach on air in the 5th is aboard. Hunter delivers. Well, Joe, if you liked offense, this is the game for you. There's been a lot of it.
Especially after a couple days ago, Cotuit falling in that one 14-3 against Bourne. A lot of offense in that one, but a little bit heavy on one side.
1-1 on the way. Check swing. But Martin Grudzelanek does not go, says first base umpire John DiGirolamo. Cotuit with 12 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors. Chatham with 4 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. Cotuit scored in all of the first 4 innings. Hard hit, past Corona, into left. Here comes Donahue. He will score easily. Into second with an RBI double is Bryce Martin Grudzelanek. His 4th 2-bagger of the season, and the Anglers are within 7.
Well, he's come back with a couple great at-bats after striking out twice. Just talking about more of those in-game adjustments, Tyler, and it looks like Bryce Martin Grudzelanek has made a couple of those himself. Just been able to stay back on these last 2 at-bats after striking out in the 1st and in the 3rd. He reached base on an error in the 5th, but now a double here. Just tucks it down the left field line for a base hit. Brings in another run, but now we'll see what Mike Roberts elects to do here with another man in scoring position.
Ben Koval warming up, now running out of the left field bullpen gate. He will trot in to make his 3rd appearance of the summer, activated last week. So that'll be the day for Aiden Hunter with 1 down in the top of the 6th. It's 12-5 Cotuit with Chatham looking to threaten when we come back on the Cats Digital Network.
celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Hi, this is Ryan Glaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
We welcome you back on the Cats Digital Network. Tyler Danberg alongside Joe Pratt, Lily Butler, Liam Barrett, and Abigail Lott. Abigail is directing today. She's doing a great job. Ben Koval out to make his third appearance. He's 1-0, allowing 4 earned, 2 hits, a strikeout, and a pair of walks in 3 innings out of Fordham. He'll spend his graduate year at Pittsburgh next year.
Yeah, Koval in a tough situation, too. Last time we saw him was Sunday night at Orleans. But here, a situation where he's just got to focus on throwing strikes, trust the defense behind him. He's got a 7-run cushion in this 12-5 Cotuit lead. So with 2 guys on, just got to try to throw some pitches, hammer low in the zone, force some weak contact, and try to escape this inning relatively unscathed.
1 down. Runners on second and third. Zach McDonald swings and misses. Joe, with a base open, does that affect a pitcher like Koval's approach here?
I think it definitely could possibly. You always got that bag open if he starts off the count with a couple of balls, but he starts off perfectly here with a strike on the outer half.
And if you're down 3 balls in the count, is that unintentional, intentional walk kind of like a security blanket if needed?
Right, I think that's definitely in play if he kind of loses them here. But then eventually you have to throw some strikes with those bases loaded.
McDonald is ahead of the count 2-1. Koval relieves Aiden Hunter, who pitched an inning. 1 run on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts to no walks. Brock Peary came before him in relief. No earned runs, had an inherited one come in from Cameron Hill. 2-1. And it just misses on the inside corner. McDonald has walked twice today, flew out in the 5th.
You know, here I think he wants to throw something close, something that he can try to maybe get a swing and a miss at, something definitely low and away. But of course, like you said, he's got the security blanket in first base being open.
And it's a bit out for ball 4. Back-to-back sliders from Koval. He gets a swinging strike, but then Zach McDonald draws his 3rd walk of this game. Caden Kent will come up to bat. He's been one of the toughest outs in this Chatham order.
Yeah, 2 for 3 so far. He's reached third base in both of those singles, but he's been unable to be brought home. But just a ground out to go along with that. He's driven a run in as well. Been a really difficult out so far. Let's see how Koval handles him.
The All-Star has a team-high 28 hits. Chatham as a ball club this year batting 194 with the bases loaded. They have driven in 21 runs. They've had some struggles with the bases juiced. Double play ball can end the threat here for Ben Koval. And it's laced to right. A bases loaded single for Kent. That'll score 2. McCoy's throw goes into second. And Kent's got his third hit of the game. Driving in Fabian and Martin Grutzel on it.
It's just a great piece of hitting there. He just puts it right through that right side of the infield, and the infielders were playing a bit more at double play depth. So Harlan a bit closer to the bag at second than he would normally be. But of course, playing a little bit closer, looking to turn 2. That's exactly where they'll be at here. Just a perfectly placed base hit there from Kent.
That'll set up Tyler Wolfert to the plate. Chatham's lineup, they have come on strong since that 4th inning. They've scored a run in each of the last 3 frames. Ben Koval made his debut last week against Falmouth in that 12-5 win. He retired all 7 batters he faced. His next appearance gave up a home run. That was in that 6-5 loss to Orleans. He's got that nice splitter, too, which you don't see nearly every day.
He's got great command with it as well.
Wolford, who has those 2 RBI, looks slider away, or even. "23 runs driven in now this year with the bases loaded for Chatham. Runners on first and second here. Koval unfurls. Tomahawk bouncer to the mound. Koval lobs to first. And there's 2 gone as Wolford is retired.
Nice job there from Koval. Make sure to just get the easy out. And he did really put a lot under that throw to Cole Mathis at first, but it was in time to get him. So nice job by Koval. Now all he has to focus on is throwing some strikes and looking to get that 3rd out. Not paying too much attention to the guys on 2nd and 3rd.
Eden Miola, who's 0 for 3, is ahead 1-0. Made those 2 throwing errors at 3rd. Those are the 2 Chatham errors. And the Anglers, they came in 3rd in the league in defense. Cotuit right behind him in 4th. 3 runs here in this inning for Chatham. A Bryce Martin Grutzelonic RBI single. Caden Kent with a 2-run single as well. Kettleers had 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Chatham with 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and some more coming up here. They've scored 5 in this inning. Dylan Johnson caught one there off the foul ball for Miola.
Yeah, it looks like he'll shake that one off and be okay. He gives the home plate umpire Chris Engstrom the thumbs up. That can really shake you up as a catcher, but sometimes he just needs a second to regather himself, and looks like he did. And they're 1 strikeout away from escaping this inning.
Koval looking to do it here. Comes up a bit wide. Miola, a 2nd-year angler. Played in 4 games last year in early June before an injury. Went 1 for 10. He's 11 for 59 entering this game here. Check swing. And that's going to allow a runner to come home.
Looks like
Did they call a balk?
They called a balk on Koval. And I think it could just be what got Cameron Hill earlier. But it looked like Koval had come set. The count's going to stay where it's at. The runners just move up one place, so 12-8 the score now. But a tough one there for Koval right here. Just got to stay focused. Count still 2-2. Got to try to prevent that runner from third from coming in, keeping this score right where it's at.
The Tupsu to Miola. Up high. Well, Chatham has roared back here. They've made it a game. Once dead and buried. They've scored 7 unanswered. There's a sky-high pop fly into right. That one's carrying out towards right. McCoy twists back and makes the grab. 4 runs here in this 6th inning for Chatham, making things interesting. Liam Paddock out to work. Cotuit up when we return.
They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Stay in touch with the Cats on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th.
We welcome you back here from Lowell Park, game 32 of this regular season. Second to last meeting between Chatham and Cotuit, and the first meeting since June 18th.
Yeah, that's right. We made our way out there earlier this month. When was that? Was that right after the 4th?
Yes, it was July 8th.
We went out there and remember pulling up to Veterans Field, the 7 p.m. game, but we got there at 4:30 and the entire outfield was just bogged down in that fog.
Trotter Harlan stings one over the mound. It's a back spinner, barehanded by Martin Grudzolonic. His throw gets away from Will Hoyt. Harlan will take second to lead off this inning. But you're right, it was kind of when we were rolling into Main Street. It was right then and there where the fog started to roll in, and you realized, all right, well, who knows where this could go.
Yeah, that was the 4th straight game that got postponed at Veterans Field. The 3 before that, 2 of them I believe were due to fog, 1 was due to rain. But that fog in Chatham is really no joke. I mean, we saw it roll in right around first pitch, and we were doing the starting 9, actually. That's when they called the game.
You're right. And they did a flyover, and an unbelievable flyover. It's a tradition there every year. Jim, the friendly face at Veterans Field, he's always the one who arranges it. And, I mean, it takes a lot of people to make that go down, and you could hear the planes go over, but you couldn't see it. Trey Younger takes a called strike on the outer third from Liam Paddock, who's through an inning and a third. It was kind of like some Twilight Zone stuff where you couldn't see the plane, but you could hear it. Harlan on second. Ket's looking for some insurance here. They're up 2-0 on the season series against the Anglers. Well, Trey Younger just continues to be an on-base machine. He's reached base in 2 of 3 at-bats today. And now in the season has 2 bases-loaded walks. And he bunts it next to the mound. Paddock up with it and just beats Younger. Sack bunt to move Harlan.
And a perfect one at that from Younger. You want to put it to the right of the mound as a hitter because the runner's on second. You want to be able to get him over to third, and he just does that perfectly. It's a play for Paddock that he's got to break off the mound kind of away from where he finishes, as a left-handed thrower finishes more towards the third base side. So nice job by him to cover that ground quickly.
Infield in. Dylan Johnson pulls back. Maybe a safety squeeze here. I never thought about it that way. That's a great observation about how you look at the way the pitcher's finishing, and that really dictates where the bunt goes.
Yeah, some pitchers really turn off the mound, really kind of pull towards their glove side, and looks like Paddock does slightly.
In the air, shallow left center. McDonald and Donahue converge. It's McDonald that comes away with it. Harlan stopped between home and third. The throw back to third pulls Miola off on a slide.
Well, Harlan with some slight hesitation there, but he lucks out. As Mike Roberts not too pleased with that decision there, but Harlan, luckily, he's able to stay safe. I mean, he goes down towards home, and that throw's coming into Melendez. It's slightly offline, but Harlan's thought process is likely that Melendez would be able to field that ball and then be able to get him before he's able to put a slide down at home. So he just turns and goes back to third. Luckily, he's in there safely.
And that could have been a double play, and then the base is clear. And the side is retired. Runner on third for Brock Wills. He's got two singles. Drove in a pair in the bottom of the fourth. That was a 3-run inning. 2 3-run innings for the Kettleers today. Their most is 4 back in the first. Everybody in this Cotuit lineup has reached base.
Eight of 9 have reached twice.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says third base umpire Joe LaBella. How about the job, Joe, by Liam Paddock out of Spokane Community College?
Yeah, he really clamped down, especially when Harlan got on second. He moved over to third. That's when Paddock really stood tall there, and he picks up another strikeout. A great relief appearance here put together by Liam Paddock.
So we will go to the top of the 7th on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettliersstore.org.
Missed last night's game?
He's in the 9th spot.
So we welcome you back from Lowell Park, and the 5th pitcher is on for the Kettleers, and it is two-way all-star Cole Mathis, with Jack Scanlon going to do the catching from here on out, replacing Dylan Johnson. But as for Mathis, he's going to come in, Joe, and will make on the season his 7th appearance. And oh, by the way, he's also batting 300 plus at the plate.
Yeah, not so bad for Cole Mathis. I mean, just we've seen what he can do with the bat in his hands, blasting 6 home runs on the year, a team lead for the Kettleers. And now we have another chance to see him do what he does on the mound. So he starts this game at first and now making a relief appearance on the mound. So moving into that middle part of the diamond, but staying right there at the top of the order. He's 2 for 4 on the day offensively. Now let's see what he can do as a pitcher.
And Dylan Johnson moves to first. He did the catching. And the first batter he sees is Trace Wilhoit, and Cole Mathis hits him. So a leadoff base runner for Chatham, and now with Wilhoit on base, everybody in the Chatham order, just like Cotuit, has climbed the board today. I mean, it just goes to show you the offensive performance that both teams have put on.
Yeah, and it goes to show you the grit that Chatham has shown in this one. I mean, they were down at one point by 10 runs. It was a 12-2 game at one point, but they've been able to put together some offense and mount this comeback. Of course, comeback not yet complete as Cotuit's still holding this 4-run lead, but you got to respect the way that Chatham's been able to battle back in this one.
Yeah, the Anglers, the lowest scoring offense in the league entering this one. Low to Kyson Donahue, who's 2 for 2 with a ribby. But today they've scored 8 runs, 7 of them in the last 4 frames. That is the most runs they've scored since 10 in a 10-3 win on July 3rd against Harwich, a team that Cotuit will face tomorrow. Last trip to White House Field for us.
Yeah, it should be a fun one tomorrow. Harwich team that's been playing well.
Yeah, they're still second in the East. Chatham 5th. 7 back of Brewster. Kettleers in first place with 44 points in the West. Swung on and missed by Donahue. Now Mathis is the All-Star Game starter as a first baseman. But who knows, we could see him pitch. 1-0 with a save and a 3.18 earned run average.
All those foul balls, yours, courtesy of the San Low Restaurant.
We've talked about it before, but what is the impact of a two-way player coming into pitch? There's strike 3 called. Down goes Donahue. Cole Mathis with his 18th strikeout of the season.
Well, I think the main thing when just looking at this stat line, he's driven in 2 runs. He's scored a run himself. He's knocked 2 of the 13 hits that they have on the board. And now you can turn to him in a big spot in relief as well. I think that's what that brings to this team, is just being able to do it all and do it all at a very consistent rate. And that's something that Mathis has done really well. And he's really settled in nicely into this kind of reliever role where he'll start the game at first or at DH, get some swings in, and then they'll turn to him later in the contest to put together some relief innings.
He said it kind of fires him up a little bit, too. It's already dialed in. That's up high to Jaden Melendez.
As opposed to going through the whole routine of being a starter and preparing for the start and then pitching for, maybe 3-4 innings. And then sometimes he would come in as an offensive replacement, but that can kind of mess up your mentality of the game sometimes. Maybe it's easier for Mathis to kind of join the game as a position player and then move into the pitching role. It seems like he's been a lot more comfortable relieving these games, these past couple at Lowell Park.
He did that the last time against Harwich. On the ground to second. Harlan to his left. Gathers, fires, and he got the pinch hitter for Chatham. So that was not Jaden Melendez. It was a new hitter on for the Anglers. And it was Gavin Mez out of Southern Nevada. He'll play at USC next year. So we'll have two new catchers now in this game. Jack Scanlon for Cotuit, Gavin Mez for Chatham. Trace Wilhoit now on second. Derek Fabian, the incoming Auburn Tiger, is at the dish. Time called by Jack Scanlon.
Yeah, this will be the first time that Mathis is pitching to Scanlon. Scanlon activated just a couple days ago, I should say, but so they'll have to communicate a little bit, get on the same page here.
The 1-2. Roped into center. That'll fall in. Around third, Wilhoit. Matheson's throw enters into second. An RBI single for Derek Fabian. He's now 2 for 3. And he continues to swing a hot bat.
Yeah, drives in his 7th RBI of the summer right there. And has just rebounded great after flying out to left field back in the 3rd inning. That was a ball that was taken deep into left, allowed out there. And he's really been able to meet the mark on these last couple at-bats. A pair of singles, came around to score on the last 2 times he was on base, reached on a walk back in the 5th.
Into that 9 spot too, which has a lot of impact as we've talked about. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek pushes one past Corona. The Anglers have back-to-back hits. And the tying run is going to come up to the plate.
Zach McDonald, center fielder, Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be Zach McDonald out of Miami, currently hitting .241 on the summer, driven in 5. So looking for more of that here. Another at-bat on the year. This will be his 29th.
The Miami, Ohio Redhawk looks at one outside. He's been really selective at the plate today with 3 walks. Chatham has scored 8 runs in its last 5 frames. Mathis dots the corner. He started 10 of 14 games this year, did Mathis at the College of Charleston. 5-1 with a 3.45 earned run average. Zach McDonald punches it foul. It looked like for a long time that this game was pretty much over with, but Chatham has fought back. Fabian on second, Martin Grudzelanek on first. McDonald will take one away, and Jack Scanlon eats it up.
Yeah, nice job by Scanlon there. able to pounce on that one. 2-2 the count here now to Zach McDonald, who has only had a couple at-bats with runners in scoring position. He made his debut back on July 7th. But he's 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. The one hit, a home run.
And as a team, 220 average with 8 homers with men in scoring position for Chatham. 3-2 now. Another 3-2 count for Zach McDonald.
He's put together a couple great battles so far in this game, and another one here in the 7th.
He's looking to put the bases loaded. Cole Mathis looking to get out of it. Tying run at the plate for Chatham. The 3-2 home. Outside for ball 4. Hugs the outside corner, but McDonald draws a quartet of walks, his 4th.
Yeah, and that just shows you the great eye that McDonald has. He sees that one a little bit outside. So does Chris Engstrom, so he's on his way to first. His 4th walk of the day, Tyler. Just been an on-base machine. And now with the bases juiced, a big-time opportunity to get right back in this game for the Anglers.
Bases loaded for Caden Kent. He had the bases juiced in the 6th. He drove in 2 with a single. He is 3 for 4 today. This is a big spot here for Cole Mathis. And a warning here, Mike Roberts talking to Chris Engstrom, really letting him have it after that. Ball 4. I mean, that is just off the outside corner by an inch.
Yeah, great pitch by Mathis.
It's 7:26 right now, Joe. We're nearing the sunset time, too. So that could also play a factor. Because if the game gets too dark, there are no lights here. So darkness could set in.
Looks like a couple guys stretching and tossing out in the Kettleers bullpen, but nobody formally warming up. Looks like this is Mathis's batter for sure, and likely it's on him to get the 3rd out.
He sticks it in for strike 1.
Yeah, Kent was taking that all the way.
As you call it, the get me over fastball. 3-1 on Kent at a Texas A&M. And he floats it foul. His dad was Cotuit Kettleer, Jeff Kent. 2000 National League Most Valuable Player. '19-year veteran in the majors and a 5-time All-Star. His son Caden looking to do some damage here. And it's in the dirt for ball 4. Chatham is within 2. A bases loaded walk for Caden Kent. He's aboard for the 4th time today.
And Roberts out of the dugout. That was a breaking ball there from Mathis, low and in the dirt. Nice job by Scanlon to keep it in front of him. Despite that being ball 4 and the runner going down to first. Just that's one there where you got to be really confident in your off speed to place it in the zone with the count full, with the bases loaded in a moment like this. And it looks like that's the call that they wanted. They are unable to get it, but Mike Roberts, an abbreviated mound visit there, as it seems like Chris Engstrom's patience with him has kind of reached its end. He has already issued a warning to Mike Roberts, so Roberts will definitely have to be careful with what he says here, especially as the closing moments of the game and big-time moments of the game are upon us.
9 unanswered runs for Chatham. Those have all come since the 3rd inning. Cotuit scored 12 unanswered in the first 4 frames, and that one a strike. Tyler Wolford. 2 for 3, a sac fly and an RBI single. And now a warning goes to Marty Lees.
Yeah, you hear the home plate umpire say, "That's your warning." You see Marty Lees goes, "Thank you."
And it's into right field, the base hit. This could tie the game. McCoy's throw, cut off. A 2-run single for Tyler Wolford. 11 unanswered runs for the Anglers. And this ballpark is in disbelief.
I mean, how could you not be? What was once a 10-run lead for the Kettleers has since been deleted. We're knotted here at 12-12. These teams have been dead even now. When you look back at the numbers on the board now, 12 runs on 13 hits for the Kettleers, 12 runs on 11 hits for the Anglers. And if you're taking a look back at what has hurt the Kettleers in these past couple games, they've put on 18 guys by way of the walk, 3 guys by way of the hit by pitch in their last 2 losses. And so far in this one, they haven't done themselves too many favors with the walks and the hit by pitches as well, as they have put 2 guys on in this frame alone by the walk and 1 on the hit by pitch. They did so a couple times last inning, and that's really what has been fueling these Anglers' little flurries of rallies here in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and now really hurting them here in the 7th.
They've walked 6 batters today, and the Anglers here, they have just had a lot go their way, and they've just been piecing together singles, especially. They had those 2 doubles in the 4th from Wolford and Donahue, but the rest have pretty much been singles, so they've just been advancing runners base by base.
Yeah, they've just been kind of trading places. Everybody moves up 1.
So Mike Roberts out there right now with Chris Engstrom. And perhaps maybe they're just talking over how they're approaching Cole Mathis with a new incoming arm.
Yeah, definitely, because there's definitely going to be some shuffling around to be done. Of course, you want to keep Cole Mathis in the lineup just to keep that big power bat in there, especially the way this game has gone now, all tied up at 12-12. So you're definitely going to need his bat right there at the top of that lineup, and so it'll be definitely some things to be figured out between Mike Roberts and Chris Engstrom. And it looks like they're sorting that out right now as the new pitcher makes his way to the mound for the Kettleers.
And it'll be big right-hander out of UCLA, Finn McElroy.
You stink.
We got some tensions amongst the fans. I mean, this was just a tense situation all to begin with. A lot of drama here in Cotuit. The top team in the West, the Kettleers, up once 12-1. Chatham has rallied back, the 5th place team in the East, all the way back, clawing their way for 11 unanswered tallies. And when we come back, Finn McElroy will pitch to Dylan Johnson.
Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Hi, this is Ryan Glaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
We welcome you back here from Lowell Park. 12-12 is our score. Tyler Danberg, Joe Pratt, and our entire crew with you. So to get you updated on what has happened, Dylan Johnson goes from catcher to first to catcher. Cole Mathis goes from first to pitcher, back to first. In comes Finn McElroy. He will replace Brock Wills, the designated hitter. Here's the pitch. And Aiden Miola takes strike one. McElroy coming in to make his 5th appearance. He's 1-0, allowing 5 earned runs, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, has walked 5 and 6 1/3. Miola hits it in the air, left field. Corona, Norris going out, incoming Younger, he makes the catch. Finn McElroy only needs 2 pitches to get Aiden Miola down. Chatham ties the game up at 12, a furious 11-run comeback. Cotuit looking to try and answer when we return on the Cats Digital Network. He hits it high and deep to left field. This ball is crushed. .12 is our score. Buckle up. It's a wild ride here at Lowell Park. Let's get you caught up. Cotuit, after trailing 1-0 in the first, they score 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. That's been all for them. Chatham, their night just getting started. 1 run in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth, and 4 in the seventh. And Joe, the time is 7:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun's setting at 8:11.
You can definitely start to see it get a little dark. But looks like they're going to keep on playing.
You know, they say in the famous song, "Hey Cotuit, we're going to keep playing till it gets dark." Well, that's exactly what they're going to do today. Liam Paddock just unfurls one in there for a strike, and I believe the crowd's chanting, "Hey Cotuit."
Oh yeah, Alan Gladstone getting those fans fired up here, trying to cheer on the Cats.
Cole Mathis swings and misses. Mathis is 2 for 4, a 2-run double in the 4th inning. He came in to pitch half inning ago, allowed 4 runs on 3 hits, struck out 1, and walked 2 in 2/3 of an inning. But he's trying to help his own cause here. Boy, this will be a big time to do it. Paddock delivers. Popped up on the infield. Martin Krudzelonic makes the catch. Fighting twilight. But there's one gone.
Yeah, and of course they wanted Cole Mathis to stay in the game after pitching, to have that at bat. Of course, he's got a great bat right at the top of this Cotuit order. It didn't go well that time, but he goes in to pitch, taken out of first, then put back at first.
And Jack Scanlon taken out of the game.
Yeah, so Scanlon just a couple batters that he caught for. Same thing with Johnson. Johnson moves from first back to behind the plate.
Matheson swings and tips one back. Perhaps with Mathis staying in the leadoff spot, did Scanlon move to the DH position?
It's possible, but from my understanding, I thought they had to put the pitcher in the lineup then to replace the designated hitter, since that's where Mathis was.
Mathis swats it into left center. Tyson Donahue's there, and there's 2 gone. So most likely we will see a new designated hitter in the 9 spot if the situation presents itself.
That is true. Depending on how long these next couple outs take, we might not even get there with the sunlight factor.
Grant Norris has reached base 3 times today. Liam Paddock dials one in for a strike. Well, Paddock today so far, relieving Trey Gibson, who went 3 2/3 innings. Paddock has gone through 2 2/3, just 1 run on 3 hits. And in 3 of Chatham's last 5 games, they've had a reliever go at least 3 frames. Really using some long relief. They've only had to use 2 arms today, and it's 2-1 on Norris. Three homers this year for the Penn State Nittany Lion, former Duke Blue Devil. Almost got one out in the second, a double to dead center. Paddock is on the mound. It's 3-1 with 2 away. He pitched 2 scoreless frames in the last meeting between Cotuit and Chatham at Veterans Field, a Cotuit winner. 2 scoreless frames for Paddock. Bouncing ball to third. Miola across the diamond. Inning over. Liam Paddock is through 3, has just given up a run. He sets down Mathis, Matheson, and Norris 1, 2, 3. Wilhoit, Donahue, Mez due up for the Anglers, looking to take their first lead since the first inning when we come back on the Cats Digital Network. So we're back here as Trace Wilhoit leads off the 8th inning against Finn McElroy. 11 unanswered runs for Chatham, tied up at 12, and a hit batsman. Wilhoit led off that 4-run 7th with a hit by pitch, and he does it here as well in the 8th.
Well, that was the recipe in the 7th. Let's see if it is here in the 8th. Not the best start to the 8th inning for Finn McElroy, but a chance to come back here against a guy in Kyson Donahue who was cut down on a looking K his last time up after ripping a couple base hits. A
big spot that McElroy got out of, though, with the go-ahead run in scoring position to end the 7th. Got a fly out from Aiden Miola. The 1-0. Donahue flips it foul. Top of the 8th, here's the 1-1. When tied after the 7th, Cotuit is 2-1. Chatham has not played a tied game past the 7th inning. And Chatham hasn't won a game. Trailing after the 6th, they are 0-17. McElroy fires. So we saw a little bit of him to end the 7th, but what might fans expect to see from Finn McElroy?
He's got a good fastball, got the slider and change to go along with it. Throws a curveball in there as well.
There's the curve, but it's left up.
And that seemed to be kind of the issues with his off-speed when we saw him pitching at Falmouth. Kind of got under him a little bit. Got to get more on top of those. Play some more low beneath the zone.
Yeah, his last appearance against the Commodores, an inning and a third. The 3-2. Chopper past Harlan. Right field it goes. Holding at second is Will Hoyt. Back-to-back base runners for the Anglers. And Gavin Mez is going to be the hitter. One of the newly minted Anglers. Looking to try a reel in a run here.
Yeah, Mez's second pinch hit at bat tonight. He grounded to the right side to second his first time up. That was just an inning ago on the 4-3 put out there. Nice job by Will Hoyt as that ball hit through the right side. He kind of delays a little bit in front of the ball, lets it go by him, and then that can kind of act as a deception play for a guy like Cole Mathis and Harlan who are maybe trying to get to that ball. He kind of blocks up the vision a little bit at the beginning, and then he just moves on to second as the ball goes right past him. So just a nice piece of heads-up base running there from Will Hoyt, and they've got two guys on with nobody out here. And you see there Gavin Mez having a few words with the third base coach of Chatham. We'll see what they turn on here with the runners on first and second. We could definitely see a bunt play turned on, trying to move both of these guys into scoring position. And I think that's what Cotuit is expecting here, especially with these guys playing in on the corners.
And Corona, the third baseman, he is a few steps into the grass. So is Mathis. Mez pulling back on the bunt, and he just misses the first base bag. Marty Lees is at third. He replaced Tom Holliday a few weeks ago. Tom Holliday resigning due to health reasons. Manager since 2018. So Lees coaching at third. The acting manager. 0-1 to Mez out of Southern Nevada. He's one of two Southern Nevada guys that has played in the league this year. Jackson Castillo, who was with Bourne, also there this year. Two JUCO guys. Corners all the way in. Now, is he trying to attract maybe a pitch right over the heart of the plate?
Yeah, and then maybe he'll pull it away.
He'll stick with it here. McElroy will go to first. It's in time. There's one away. Winning go-ahead run. Moves to third. Insurance up to second. Sack bunt achieved by Mez.
Yeah, perfect right there. Just weak enough right back up the middle. And it looks like they were going to stick with that bunt play, and he executes it perfectly. They'll move up to second and third, and it looks like Roberts will make the pitching change. And one thing to note, as that second pitch of the at-bat there coming home towards Dylan Johnson pops out of his catcher's mitt. And then as he was walking back towards the behind the plate, his office, he took a look over at Mike Roberts and then pointed 2 fingers towards his eyes and then 2 fingers towards the mound, possibly saying that he's having trouble seeing the ball. That's something that we'll have to pay attention to here. And then kind of maybe an interesting play here to move to the bullpen, as time is of the essence as the sunlight is running out above head over at Lowell Park. They'll make the pitching change here, so that'll add some time to that with the runners on second and third, and then you still have 2 outs to get. So if Chatham is able to put up one of these runs here, then you still have to get these 2 outs remaining in the inning, Tyler. And then you have to come back up and try to put the bat on the ball when these guys might not even be able to see it. So who knows the way this game is going to end up.
Partner, this could make for a murky end to this ball game, one where we are here in the top of the 8th and we have seen just 1 lead change and just the game tied twice, but 11 unanswered runs. Chatham looking to try and make that 12, but Cotuit going to put a familiar face as the fork in the road to try and prevent it. It's Rob Hughes, reactivated last night, and he was in a similar spot against Chatham at Veterans Field on June 18th.
Yeah, that was back in one of his early appearances on the summer. Appeared with a couple runners on, a couple in scoring position at Veterans Field in a big moment, but was able to escape that jam, and that's exactly what he's looking to do right here. This is the situations that they really want Rob Hughes for, to come in the game and be able to slam the door when there's guys in scoring position, when this team is threatening to take a lead in the game. And right here at 12-12, this is exactly why they brought back Rob Hughes. They want him to be able to be the back end in these games, to be able to slam the door, especially at times when these guys need it, late in games when they're threatening, and this is a time right now. The Anglers are threatening, and a perfect time to call on Rob Hughes, who went home back to South Carolina a couple weeks ago, getting ready for the MLB draft. Unfortunately, didn't hear his name called, so he stayed true to his word, said he was going to come back here when or if he was unable to get drafted. And here he is, made his way back here to Cotuit, and it's great to see him back, and hopefully he can escape this inning for Cotuit.
He's a power arm, 6'2", 235, incoming senior for Clemson out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. He's got runners on second, moved after a nicely executed sac bunt by Gavin Mez. Derek Fabian, 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, the last one for an RBI coming up to the plate. Hughes has made 2 appearances on June 18th and June 22nd. Gave up 5 runs in that 7-6 loss to Hyannis. That was a 7-run comeback for Hyannis. That's the longest in the league. This could be the longest now for Chatham. Hughes trying to thwart that. Fabian bounces it foul. And Rob Hughes is up in the battle, 0-1. Fabian with 19 hits on the season. He's got Wilhoit on third, Donahue on second. 0-1 offering from Hughes. He came in with the tying run at the plate on June 18th against Chatham. Struck out that man, proceeded to strike out 2 more. Went an inning and a third for the save in a 6-2 win for the Kettleers. 1-1, 1 down the pitch. Kettleers, they've been looking for a closer too. They haven't had to play too many close games, but Hughes could be that guy. Now it's 3-1. What do you think he does here?
Well, that was just a great take from Derek Fabian. And I think he goes with something he trusts. I think he goes with a fastball down low and away. Something that Fabian can't quite drive out of the infield. Got 2 singles in his last 2 at-bats.
His 3-1 to Fabian. Ball 4 outside, bases loaded with 16 minutes until sunset in a tie ball game. And now all 3 umpires are going to converge. And it looks like maybe they're not going to talk about necessarily calling the game right now, but what happens in certain situations.
Yeah, what will happen if Chatham's able to bring a run in? And now we'll get a notion from Chris Engstrom.
Are they calling the game? It looks like it is. A tie game at 12. Bases loaded for Chatham. 15 minutes until the sun sets. And the game is called. 11 unanswered runs for Chatham. Cotuit had scored 12 of the first 13. A wild ending here at Lowell Park.
The winning run just 90 feet away. A pitching change with 1 out in the inning. And then a long at-bat followed by a walk to load the bases. What timing. I mean, you got to be shocked. I think you're shocked if you're on either side of this one. And I think shocked on the side of the Kettleers and almost a feeling of relief. And I think a feeling of frustration for the Anglers as they are. I mean, when you look at the situation that they're in, bases loaded with 1 out, you have to assume that they are probably able to get one of those runs in, just with a fly ball into the outfield, a walk or a ground ball that's deep into a hole. You have to assume one of those runs is coming home. And so to call it at a time like that, highly questionable, but of course we're not the ones making the calls, and that's just kind of the way it goes. Sometimes this field doesn't have lights, and when you run out of time, you run out of time.
And it was up to the umpire's discretion, too. And you saw home plate umpire Chris Engstrom with his hands in the air. The 3 umpires came together. It's 7:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sun fully setting at 8:11. And then they certainly cannot play. Perhaps was there the thought process of what if Chatham scores a run, but then there's not enough time for Cotuit to safely bat it around an entire inning?
Right, because they deserve a right to have the home half of their inning. I mean, they're the home team. They're supposed to bat second, and it's one of those ones where maybe they would have liked to call the game after Cotuit came up to bat. But that was a quick 1-2-3 inning. It wonderfully worked by Liam Paddock, who went 3 strong innings in relief for the Anglers. Really put together an unbelievable showing there after a tough outing of Trey Gibson in his 3rd start of the summer. But they worked a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Kettleers, and so then that gave Chatham the opportunity to come back up and kind of get some things going offensively. They get that hit by pitch, the single, the sac bunt from Gavin Mez, so the runners were on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in the frame, and then the walk and the pitching change and all the things that transpired after that. Well, that is just all contributing to the time that goes into how long this game is taking, and there probably would not have been enough time to get the bottom half of that frame in, Tyler. And you have to assume that the way this Chatham offense had been playing in the last 3 innings, I mean, they put up 2 runs in the 5th, then 4 in the 6th and 7th, so they had been producing at an incredibly high clip offensively, and they just continued to do so in that 8th in really unlucky timing.
So to get you caught up, we'll start in the 1st inning. Trey Gibson got the start for the Anglers. He went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 8 earned, 11 total runs, struck out 4 and walked 3. Cameron Hill, the All-Star Game starter for the West, pitched 3 1/3 innings, no earned runs, 2 unearned runs. 4 strikeouts, 2 walks on just 1 hit and 14 batters faced. From there, Chatham scored a run in the first. Cotuit got 4 that next half inning. The Kettleers proceeded to score 3 in the second. They got 2 extra runs in the third. Chatham then scored a run in the 4th inning on an RBI double by Kyson Donahue. Cotuit followed with 3 runs, and then the unanswered streak added on. 2 in the 5th for Chatham, 4 in the 6th for the Anglers. And the lowest scoring offense in the league took 4 runs in the 7th to tie up the ball game. Then, after a 1-2-3 inning work by Liam Paddock in his 3rd frame of work for Chatham, there were the bases loaded at 7:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go-ahead run on 3rd, and the game was called. And the first tie of the year for Cotuit, the 2nd of the year for Chatham. And Joe, after that was called, I mean, you could pretty much hear a pin drop at Lowell Park, a park that had been rocking all game long.
And it was a great crowd throughout tonight, and really cheering on Cotuit early on, and then a really great visiting crowd as well. Got to give some props to the fan base of Chatham. They've traveled well. They made the 45 to an hour long drive out here to Cotuit today to really cheer on the Anglers, and they really stood up big there in the latter half of this game in that 5th, 6th, and 7th, as you were highlighting, Tyler, where they put up, you know, the majority of their runs, 11 of the 12 to be exact, and man, just a really tough way to end for them. There's not too much to sum up after that. I mean, just a really hard-fought baseball game on either side. These are 2 teams that battled until the end, and they really battled until the game was eventually called by the umpiring crew.
And that was because there are no lights here at Lowell Park. They are one of 3 Cape League teams without lights in their ballpark, and because of it, with darkness settling in, it was deemed not safe to continue the game, and perhaps not safe for the game to at least finish. So 12-12 is the final score due to darkness. And now we will send it down to Lily Butler, who's with Kettleers manager Mike Roberts.
Joined alongside head coach Mike Roberts after the Kets are handed their first tie of the season, a 12-run tie against the Chatham Anglers. Coach, just the Kets offense starting off strong and then slowing down a little bit there in the last half, Chatham getting enough momentum to catch up and complete the tie. What needs to change in order for the Kets to maintain their strong starts throughout those final frames?
Yeah, well, you have to give Chatham credit. I mean, they hit a lot of balls hard. Most of them on the ground, but they found holes. They found a lot of holes. But we also, walked too many people, hit a couple people, booted a double playground ball. And so, again, it's player development. So myself leading and our coaching staff, we got to do a better job of, quote, player development. But I told them, hold their heads up high, no big deal. It's another game in a long season, and we get to play again tomorrow at 4:45. So, again, this is player development, and we'll just keep working at it.
Of course, and the Kettleers pitching staff specifically going through a lot of transactions as of late. Just how difficult is it to maintain stability throughout all of these transactions?
It's difficult. It's difficult. They're wonderful young men, but it's very difficult all the transition is tough. It's tough. It's one of the struggles, again, of summer baseball, which every night I can't sleep very much because, I don't know who's playing third base tomorrow. I don't know who's playing second base. And all other 9 coaches have the same thing going on. So, we just enjoy playing. It's a beautiful place, great crowd, and then we'll come back tomorrow, play at Harwich, and then Friday, I think we're on the road somewhere. And then I have the weekend off for the All-Star weekend, and then I think we're back home on Monday.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining me, Coach. And like he said, the Kets will travel to Harwich tomorrow to face the Mariners. We'll have all that on the Kettleers Radio Network. From Lowell Park, I'm Lily Butler.
Thanks, Lily, and that will be first pitch at 6 p.m. We'll be there with you on the Kettleers Radio Network starting at 5:45 with the Kettleers starting 9. Just what a wild way to end this game. 12-12, the final score after the bases were loaded for Chatham. The game was called due to darkness, and Lowell Park, one of the 3 ballparks in the Cape League without lights.
Yeah, this is something that is kind of uncharted territory for Chatham, at least at a road ballpark, of course, as most of their games start at night. They play a 7 p.m. start with lights at their field, but they also have 2 rivals in their division without lights, so this is nothing new to them in terms of matchups, but just really a tough way to end it, a really tough way to end a really good baseball game, as Cotuit took that big 12-2 lead, but Chatham came roaring back to tie it at 12 there in that 7th inning. So like you said earlier in the broadcast, Tyler, if you like offense, you really liked this baseball game, and it was a really good offensively played game, and all the way until the end, until, well, the darkness had other things to say.
Yeah, we said that when it was 12-2, and then 10 unanswered for the Anglers. So Chatham, they go to 9-19-2, 20 points now on the season, 5th in the East. They will end the first half of the season before going into the All-Star break with a game tomorrow versus Yarmouth Dennis at home, then a doubleheader on the road against Orleans. Of course, they had to make up a stretch in which they missed from July 4th to July 9th. Cotuit goes to 22-9-1, still tops in the West with 45 points. They will finish the All-Star break on the road. They will play tomorrow at 6 at Harwich, and then another 6 p.m. start at Wareham before the All-Star game at White House Field in Harwich. So a wild one here tonight. Chatham 12, Cotuit 12. Game called in the top of the 8th due to darkness. So for my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt, alongside Lily Butler, Liam Barrett, Abigail Lott directing today, I'm Tyler Danberg, signing off from Lowell Park. 12-12 tie is your final score between Chatham and Cotuit.